bad. So we close, this kid is just screaming, throwing ties off the racks and everything. And then he just takes off running at a full clip, straight down the aisle. And at the end of the aisle was a full-length mirror. He didn't realize it was a mirror. And he runs at a full clip into this mirror, just smack, and just kind of steps back. Didn't know what happened. Like, he could not understand physics.
It makes you feel so good.
Oh, man, I loved it. I could not have been more happy. He shut up the whole time. So I think he had like a concussion or something. He was.
I love that that's how we're starting off the podcast, is with John's hateful story about a child.
Well, it's, some kids, because you have great kids, but some people's kids really suck so bad.
Yeah.
And like, it's like there's one thing, like, it's hard when you first see kids that you realize they really are ugly, and you want to tell people, because you could say it to somebody, you can't tell the parent, like, that's an ugly kid. Or when a kid's a real asshole and you enjoy watching them get hit, like that is the best.
It's like I had my buddy, my old roommate had a dog, Hagen, I think was the dog's name, after Copenhagen.
A shitty dog?
And, yes, a chocolate lab, like half-breed. It's like just ears looked weird, nose was too long, but he spent like a dickload of money for it. He was in college. And I remember watching the dog piss on his bed one time, and I should have stopped the dog, but I fucking enjoyed it so much that I almost was like, how can I get the dog to piss on his bed every fucking time?
That's the the thing about people with shitty dogs? People who have like a really shitty dog will act like they know how to train dogs. Like, they'll tell you, like, do you know what you got to do? And you're like, dude, your dog sucks. Your dog has no obedience. You haven't trained it at all. But they'll be like, this is when you need to pet him, and you should reinforce. But, like, do you do any of it?
No. Nope.
Do you do anything at all to your dog? Your dog's a fucking... It's like an untamed beast, and you're...
Wait, are we talking about my dog?
No, your dog. That dog's
Joey came in today, and Priscilla gave him like the sniff, and then she was looking at him, and Joey's like, "This is what she's supposed to do. This is what a dog does."
What a dog does. Yeah. People get mad at that. Once I go in your house, it becomes that dog's property.
Yeah.
And you have to act like, and if not, you're gonna get fucking bit.
Yeah.
And that goes for kids too. You're gonna get fucking bit, and that's it. People don't know the mechanics of a dog. You know why I know the mechanics of a dog? I used to be a burglar. You know exactly why the fucking dog is there. Plus, before I became a burglar, when I was a kid and I first came from Cuba, I kept getting attacked by dogs. I lived in the Bronx. My mother had a dry cleaner in the Bronx. I got bit in the face. I got bit in Harlem in the leg. I got bit in Jersey. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. So I just broke down around dogs. Like, the fear I had. One dog walked past me one time with his owner, walked like 10, and then turned around and bit me. That's when you know you're a retard as a kid. When the dog turns around and comes back and bites you. Like, you're such a loser kid. And I was about 8 or 9. But it's, once you walk
past the dog's like, "Oh, fuck it."
Yeah, he came back and bit me. Fucking 2 German Shepherds. And it's amazing how when you see, I respect dogs. I respect animals, That's my biggest fear. I was walking to Yum Yum Donuts one night, and some guy had his pit bull off the fucking chain on Colfax. That dog came right up to me. He could have just tore my fucking leg off. But it was the respect that I gave him that saved my fucking leg. Joe Rogan, Frank, almost tore me up one time. Yeah. But I learned how to just maintain. And it's the inner thing. It's like when you pick up a cat. If you pick up a fucking cat hard, that cat's going to be hard. But I pick my fucking cats up like nothing. And they feel the love in your hand.
I never realized how bad I would do against like a bear or a lion until one time I had to get our cat into a flying crate. Like, put him in one of those crates, take him to the vet. And our cat, Gus, just decided to fuck me up. And all of a sudden, I have a cat that is grabbed onto me and just going, yes. And I'm like, I fucking was like, I don't know what to, and it hurt so fucking bad that I thought if that was a lion, I'd be fucking dead.
Oh, yeah.
There's not only, it's the fucking, that cat-like instinct. So,
do you remember that guy at the X show?
That got bit by a dog?
Yeah.
What was
Sean, I think his name was Sean Finkel.
That's exactly what his
name was. Is that what his name
was?
was? Yeah, one of the producers got a rescue dog. A rescue dog. It was an adult German Shepherd. Nobody knew anything about this dog. It was a rescue, and he would bring it into the office. Hadn't had it a week, and Sean, he was like he was a good-looking guy, wanted to be an actor, and he comes in, gets right in the dog's face and starts rubbing the face right there. And it just took a bite out of his face. There was blood all over the office. He had to get stitches, plastic surgery.
This is a disputable story in my family right now. Cotty got bit by a dog. We had a dog, Arthur, who was on heart medicine, and she was in my room, and he was sleeping, and he was a Jack Russell Terrier, and she was like in his face and like this, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night he just and bit her face, got her right in the eye and inside her mouth.
Oh, inside the mouth.
Locked on, and we had to I had to get him off, and then my dad, I go take Cotty into my dad's and mom's room, and I'm like, Arthur bit Cotty. They gave her like 2 seconds, and then my dad disappeared with Arthur. Took him out to the porch, and he came back and he had a bite in his hand. He's like, "Don't go out there. Don't go out there." I was like, "Okay." Next morning, Arthur is in a basket, being sent to live on a farm. They put him in a basket because that was and my dad's hosing off the fucking porch. And to this day, I think my dad killed Arthur with a baseball bat.
No doubt.
To this day.
No doubt.
To this day. And my dad always goes, "No, buddy, you have a fucking active imagination. I never told you Will Smith wanted to fuck you in the ass. I didn't kill Arthur with a baseball bat." That's how my dad sees life. I'm like, bullshit, you fucking killed Arthur with a baseball bat.
I'll get it out of him next time he's here.
I know a guy.
I'll pull him aside. Say, "Hey, just between me and you, I won't tell Bert. Did you kill that dog?"
I know a guy who had a bird that he loved his bird, and his brother's dog. He was supposed to lock up. The brother's supposed to keep the dog locked up when the house is empty, so the dog doesn't fuck with any of the other.
Yeah.
His dog killed the bird.
Oh shit!
This guy loved this fucking bird. He took the dog when he got home and found his bird dead. He was so livid that he drowned the dog in the pool with his hands and left him.
That is hardcore.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck you and fuck your fucking dog," and
shut the
no
fuck
word.
up.
Yeah,
that same dog Hagen killed. I had an iguana in college named Wilbury, after the traveling Wilburys, and I came home one day. I had a dog, Abigail. My buddy Obi had a dog named Hagen, and I come back and Wilbury is in his cage and he's dead. With my iguana, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I just thought I didn't feed it. And Obi's there, and he's like, "What's the matter?" And I was like, "Wilbury's dead." And he was like, "Oh shit, I guess you didn't feed it in a while." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I didn't." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And I was like, "Yeah." He's, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, and so he goes, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I guess I'll just cremate it." Because I was like, I don't want to bury it, because then the dogs are going to dig it up. I was like, I'll cremate it. So
just with one match?
No. I got some paper and I wrapped it up in newspaper. No. And I got some lighter fluid and I lit it, and it fucking in the fireplace, it flamed up good. I mean, it was a blaze until the paper pulled away, and there's still an iguana that's filled with liquid, and the liquid's sizzling and squirting out of his eye, and his toes are bent back, and his tail's all curled up. His lips were like this, like. And I fucking felt so horrible. I just felt like I disfigured this animal that I loved, that I had to go take it outside and bury it out there. It was the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And then Obi says to me like 2 weeks later, he's like, "You still upset about Wilbury?" And I said, "No, I'm past it." And he goes, "Well, just so you know, Hagen killed it." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I saw him playing with him, and I walked in, and I just put him back in the cage. I figured I didn't want to tell you." Fucking So.
How'd he get out of the cage?
He was a big iguana. He could get out.
Wow.
Yeah. Is everyone watching this Beyonce? Should I turn it off?
Yes.
I guess I should do an intro in the Mancave today. Tom Segura,
Yo.
John Moore, executive producer of the hit show Joe Schmo. Right, John?
Yeah.
And Joey Coco Diaz.
What's happening, guys?
We have that was a late intro. Apologize. And then supposedly I don't know if I'm almost certain it's going to happen. Adam Richman from Man vs. Food should be here, so we can all interview Adam.
Who has to give up their mic?
What?
I'll give up.
John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's the one guy who's consistently, every time people go, John did the last one like he was singing the blues. He was like, ah! And so he did the whole podcast and no one could understand him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was I doing? What do you mean
You
singing
held
the
mic
blues?
down here.
Oh, yeah, I
You're
did.
getting much better
I
at
did.
it.
Well, I've done a few since then. I've done like 12 since then.
Let's talk about how fucking fantastic his show is then.
Oh, yeah,
Have you
let's
seen
talk
Joe
about
Schmo?
that.
No, not yet.
John,
Jesus.
pitch it.
Now,
to
who
Dude.
sold Joe Schmo? Who's this?
Dude, what it is, it looks like a reality show. One guy comes to compete for the grand prize of $100,000 and a year's contract to be a bounty hunter. Everybody else he's competing against are actors. He doesn't have any idea, and they're just messing with him.
So it's a prank
And it's
show
like-
on
Now,
one
what's the
dude.
kid that created this?
A guy named Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick created it 10 years ago, and we did it 2 seasons back then.
Right.
Then it went away.
Now, who was the kid from the Best Damn Sports Show that works on there? Glasses, curly.
Oh,
hair.
Brian Keith Etheridge.
Oh,
yeah.
BKE.
Now,
yeah.
B-
did Ryan
BKE.
create it or had some-
No. He was one of the writers on the first season,
Okay.
and he was an actor on the first season.
Okay,
He's
that's-
fucking
So yeah, he's funny.
hilarious.
He's funny. Yeah, he wasn't available this year, but
He's a funny, good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a
Took
trip.
care of
So
me, yeah.
funny. And he's such a nice guy.
and he's a great drummer too. Did you know that?
He is?
Yeah,
I heard.
Yeah.
And a sensual lover.
Like he went to
Very generous.
Very
lover.
generous lover.
yeah, very generous lover. But he went to USC and got like his degree in music.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a band. And anyway, so this one guy thinks he's on a real reality show, and he's not. And it's just he's there with all the actors, and he doesn't know. Like we put this guy through the mill, and he just thinks all this craziness is going on.
That's funny.
We had a black character named Lavernius, named after
One
your
of my
boy.
jokes. My joke named after.
Laverne
Ernest Coles, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to school with
Florida
Lavernius
State,
Coles at
yeah.
Florida State, and I loved his name. I thought it was the greatest. I think we had a class together, and I remember them saying Lavernius, and I thought that was a joke name. I was like, and I started laughing,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, sorry."
It's great. With this guy Lavernius, he's like a big black guy, kind of like a scary type reality show black guy they have on every one of them, and he pulls him aside like the first night and says, "Yo, we're friends. We should stick together." And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "By the way, I got to tell you something. I'm gay." And he tells him this long story about his boyfriend Ray Ray, and he's like, "Now don't tell anybody else."
Another name out of my act.
Is that Ray Ray? Cool. I didn't know that. So, he tells me, he goes, "Now don't tell anybody. It's just between you and me. I don't want people to know. I don't know how they'll accept me." Then the next day, we've got the single mother, the widow, comes to him and is like, "Man, I'm in love with Lavernius. What can I do to get Lavernius? I think he wants me." And he's just put in the middle. He can't tell her because he can't, screw up with his friendship. And he gets into this weird love triangle. Everywhere he goes, this chick is like, "Hey, man, I really need to get with Lavernius. I think he likes
So wait,
me."
are you line editing this? Or are you in a video village watching this?
You ever watch? We've got a whole.
So are you
see
losing
everything.
your fucking mind when two jokes that you've set up for a period of time collide, and she's like, and you're watching?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And like the weirdest thing for me was the table read, because when they all got together for the table read, like 6 months ago, these characters didn't exist.
Yeah.
And here they, when you're a writer and that happens, it's like it's a mind blowing
It's
thing.
I love that show, like to alive Joe Schmo, because everything is done so well, has to go so well on so many different levels for it to work.
Oh yeah,
But there's a blind chick on the show, and apparently, like,
Deaf.
that's it, deaf. Blind would be.
Yeah, we got a
I guess
chick-
she could just close her eyes and really do it.
one of our contestants. She's not deaf in real life, but she's playing a deaf girl on the show. So he's like, "I'm fighting to be a bounty hunter with a deaf girl." It's just all ridiculous.
She's fantastic.
She's great.
Yeah, but the writing, like you guys have to come up with the concept. Those people execute it, and then I feel like a huge factor is casting the right guy.
Oh yeah,
because he's so
He's
earnest
got to be dumb enough
and sincere, and you got to be like
and a good dude.
good dude.
he's not. Yeah, you got to be a good dude, but he's not dumb. That's what everyone thinks. He just doesn't
Yeah,
know.
but I'd figure it out pretty quick.
No, you wouldn't. No,
I'd
you
figure
wouldn't.
it out.
There's no way, because all he's going by is the information he's given.
Is he from L.A.?
No, he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's got his master's degree.
No, I'm not. I'm going to Pittsburgh next week. I'm not saying they're dumb, but I'm saying he couldn't be from like L.A. or New York or somewhere because he'd fucking catch.
I'd be a
on
little
that
more.
quick.
He'd be a little more savvy. But if you just walk in a room, somebody would just walk in this room, and I would say, I've been in prison for 3 years. There's no reason for him not to believe that, because he doesn't have,
Greatest line Joey Diaz ever delivered in person to me. We were talking about black people, and he goes, "Dog, if you think brothers are allowed in the movies." Go to prison. I fucking laughed. It was me with Felicia Michaels, and I could not stop laughing. Felicia didn't really hear it. Like, she didn't catch it. Yeah. And I could not. And then Joey just continues telling a story. I go, no, go back to that. The greatest fucking line. Wait, into the mic, Joey.
It's amazing. When you go to jail, they talk all night, black people. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, you get sentenced, and they take you to county jail. And then after you're in county jail, after a week, they go, listen, we're going to send you to where you're going to go, but first you have to go to diagnostic, to like a prison where they test your head and they draw blood and all that shit. And you're there for 2 weeks. Then they decide where they're going to send you according to your points and what crime you did and previous, and if you have a high school diploma. There's all these variables. And once they send me to diagnostic, that's what it's called, nobody sleeps there. I went to diagnostic in August, which is fucking Humidville in Colorado. And I was on the 3rd floor. And there had to be, it was like 6 floors of just cells, like you see in a movie, just all the way high up. And I remember when lights went out, they talked all night. I mean, and listen, look, if
you realize how much I love that?
If you're like in the cell next to me and I'm like, yo, Bert, yo, what's up, Joey? What's going on over there? Nothing. Reading a book. What are you reading about? Oh, I'm reading about physics. Yeah, tell me about it. Well,
this is clearly a made-up one. Or what are you doing over there? Reading a book about physics.
Right. You're reading something about Stephen King. I'm reading on the writing.
Yeah.
You're reading and we're having a conversation about it. You know what? Whoever this appeals to, at least it's an interesting conversation. You know, how he came up with carrot.
Yeah.
He was
I feel like I know where this is going.
No.
I don't. And I'm excited.
But with the brothers, okay, so you and I are talking next to each other in the cell.
Yeah.
Like, so, John, did you read the part about Carrie, how he wrote Carrie? Whatever. It's not it's not going to save the world, but at least we're talking about something. The black guys, but they talk like from the 2nd floor to the 4th. And it's like, yo, Moby. Yo, Moby. And it's got to travel. So Moby's in his room, right? Moby's in his room, whatever. Picking his fucking afro or greasing his ears or putting Vaseline on their calves, whatever the fuck they do. And all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, Moby, that must be me. So now he has to get up and go to the thing and go, yo, Moby here. So now the guy downstairs forgot he already yelled up to Moby. He's going to say, Moby, oh, yo, Moby, what's going on up there? And then Moby has to yell back, nothing, dog, just doing time like a motherfucker. All right. And this goes on for hours. Like, yo, so you got visiting on Sunday? Nah, I got my baby's mama, number 1. The fat hoe's coming because the white one don't like black, and it goes on forever. And you're sitting there in bed going, you just want to get up and go, oh, does this matter? Are we saving fucking lives? And let's say you fall to sleep at 2. Let's say you fall asleep at 1. When you get up at 4, they're still having the same conversation. Moby and Ray are still fucking, yo. So tell us what happened in high school. And they just talk. And it's all fucking night, guys.
Oh, my God.
And they don't sleep in the daytime. Black people rest to talk. I went to Popeye's about 2 years ago. I went to Popeye's Chicken on Laurel Canyon. And this ain't a racist statement. This is a true statement. I went in there with my wife. Right here, Laurel Canyon.
I know that Popeye's.
Tremendous Laurel Canyon. But what a lot of people don't know is Tuesdays is $1.99. You get a wing and a breast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means black people go fucking bananas on Tuesday. Like on Wednesday, if you're white and you get up in the Mickey Mouse Club, if anything could happen day. For black people, it's what's today? Tuesday. Oh, shit. It's going down at Popeye's, right?
We went to Popeye's, on
a Tuesday.
You ever go on a Tuesday? It was the day before my fast.
Packed. But here's the beauty of it. There was a guy in Popeye's eating chicken on the phone the whole time while he was eating chicken. After a while, if I'm black and I'm sitting there, I'm going, what are you doing? You eating chicken? Why are you talking to me about eating chicken? I'm over here eating fucking diet root beer. Call me back when you with the chicken. He talked throughout the whole conversation while he was eating the 3 pieces of chicken. Me and my wife stayed there. I'm like, my wife's like, we got to go. No, we're not. We're going to watch this whole conversation go down. This is what reality TV should be. Not fucking some guy hunting a bull in Spain. This is it. This black guy on the phone. He didn't even stop and go, let me call you back when he asked to check for hot sauce. You know how they always stop, like I'm going to take 2 bites. So, something's missing this motherfucker. Hot sauce, that's right. He didn't even get off the phone. My point being, he ate chicken. Like if I don't know about you guys, I can't eat and talk. When I'm eating, I'm fucking eating. I don't want to talk to no.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody in the world I want to talk to when I'm eating.
Right.
This guy was eating his favorite meal and didn't even take 5 minutes off. He just talked throughout the whole thing. It was an hour for 3 pieces of chicken. So I got to know where to go with this. I'm just
No. John watched me eat today, and I eat like a fucking wolf.
Yeah, you eat like you're in prison.
I eat like I'm in prison.
You eat like you're scared everyone around you is going to take your food. I've never seen anything like it.
I was
I
the
grew up
fastest
rough.
eater that I had ever been around.
Who?
Myself. Me. I finished, and you are at least 3 times as fast.
Really?
pretty fast.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
No, I mean he eats like there's a prize at the bottom of it or something. Like you are going nuts.
Yeah, I eat really
inhale it.
fast.
My
But that
wife
was
takes 2 bites of her meal, and I'm already the waitress is taking my dish.
and I'll tell you what else. I have a real fucking thing about my food being hot. Like I need my food to be hot, almost burnt.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't have like if it starts to cool down, it's ruined. In my opinion, it's meant to be served hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Leanne, it was a big hiccup in our relationship. We first got married because I'd make dinner for us, and she'd be like, especially with the girls, she's like, I'll be out in 15 minutes. I'm just gonna put Isla down. I'd be like, no. I made it now. It's on the table now. You stop what you're doing, and you come now. But when we go on the road with my crew, and when it's a crew of fucking 15 people on the road. I go, the second my food gets anyone's food, you start eating. We're not fucking family. There's no fucking, it's work. You eat and then fucking eat it because I'm not waiting for anyone.
I'm not waiting for anybody.
Yeah.
And I've finished food. I've finished straight up meals before anyone gets served.
You know when you go to a restaurant with somebody?
Yeah.
You know why I don't go to restaurants with people? Because they take too long to order. I'm walking in that restaurant. I
Drives
already know
me
what
nuts.
I want. As I'm walking in the fucking door,
Yeah.
so when she comes over with the waters, right there, yo, you ready to take this? No. And then you always got one fucking Momo who's doing everything but. Red Man, he's doing everything. Get the fucking menu. Because Rogan knows what he wants. I know what I want.
Yeah.
John knows what he wants. You're the only fucking Momo. And look at the fries. Look at the flowers. I don't give a fuck about the flowers. You better know when that bitch comes the first time, you better have your fucking order. My wife is the same way. She looks around. Look at the brickwork.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
What,
about
you know
the
what I don't
brickwork.
understand? One of my friends always gives 2 options to the server, and it's like, what do you think? And then basically lets the server decide.
Fuck you.
And I'm like,
was that me? Was that me that did that? Remember
No.
No, not that one. Remember when we were in Hawaii and I said to the lady, "What's good on the menu?" And she goes, "I don't know." And I go,
Oh, yeah.
And I go, "What do you mean you don't know?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I said, "What about these?" She goes, "I don't know." I go, "You haven't had anything on this menu?" And she
Yeah.
goes, "No, they won't let us eat off the menu." And I go, and then we took it upon ourselves to go fucking hunt down management and say they need to eat from the menu because we need to know what we want to eat and their recommendation matters.
Yeah,
I
okay.
remember that. That was a fucking. Have you ever seen, Joe? Have you ever seen the video of me shaving Tom's tits? It is. I watched it just as on a lark and we were in Hawaii and I shaved Tom's back and then I realized that his armpit hair connected to his tit hair. So I was like,
Chest also works.
chest. So I was like, let me just shave some definition. I'll hollow this point out and then bring it up under. And I did one, and the second I did one, I looked at it, and it looked like his nipples were wearing a mask. They were just like, because it looked like glasses on his, and I could not stop laughing, and it looked so bad.
Adam's here.
Oh, good. That's a perfect time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll edit all this out, I'm sure. Adam, come on in.
I'll keep it real.
Oh, yeah. We'll just keep it in.
I'm gonna move back.
All right. Adam. How are you, sir? Good to see you, brother. This is my buddy Tommy Buns.
Hey, what's up, man? Oh,
Here.
you got hands full.
Leanne. Leanne leaves the dog in here.
Oh, come on.
Do you want us to keep Mona? Okay. This is Tommy
How you doing,
Buns,
man? How's it
stand-up
going?
comedian. John Moore, he's
How are you?
executive
Good to see
producer
you.
of Joe Schmo, and my buddy Joey Coco Diaz. Joey and you will be simpatico. Both guys out of New York, East Coasters. Grab a mic, sit down.
Sit
You
down
were
here.
tearing up some hot dogs last week. I was in West Palm Beach. You were tearing up some hot dogs. I'm in my room getting high going, I wish I had some fucking hot dogs.
Into the mic, Joey.
Richman
Into the
always
mic.
got hot
Do you want
dogs.
anything?
I'm good.
beer?
I'm good. Are we already recording?
Yeah. We just started. And we were like, oh, Adam will roll in.
Eventually, yeah. Sorry for the delay.
No, don't worry about it, man. So Adam is, and what are you in for? You just in the
What
party?
am I here for? No, I came out here for some work stuff, and I have to finish writing a cookbook.
Are you
And
really?
I owe my publisher a bunch of recipes. There's a lot more recipes in the cookbook than I thought. I figured, 50, 60 recipes, I'm good, you know? And apparently the bare minimum for a cookbook is 85, and they want like 115.
That's like industry standard.
Yeah, and they want like 115. I just don't want it to be like douchey. That's my thing, because like I think there are so many people out in the food world that can cook so much better than I can. Can you curse on your podcast?
Yes, of
Bert?
course.
I'm just
What were you gonna
checking
ask,
it
John?
ahead of time.
Into a mic.
How do you write a cookbook? I've always wondered that.
a great question.
It's not like you don't sit there like there was a chicken who you
Yeah, totally. This is
not
the story.
story-driven.
This is the story of a teaspoon of salt with a dream. This teaspoon of salt had a dream one day. No, you know what? I've written recipes in my first book, and they were kind of inspired by the places that I was writing about. And so now they want a cookbook that's kind of based on my travels and places I've been and regional things and things I've learned. But it's also just the way you experiment. I mean, people watch. They're much better chefs than me, but people watch them like they're like a burning bush, and they're just like trained cooks. And they have vast skill. But
Is that your background, cooking?
yeah, I mean, I supported myself as an actor doing the restaurant thing. But
You get trained formally, like as a chef in New York.
the only formal training I had was for sushi.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't go to like CIA or FCI or any of the big schools like that, or Cordon Bleu, Johnston and Wales. Like those guys really, they have a manipulation and understanding of food that I wish I had. But so in answer to your question, so like what I'll do is, first of all, I do a lot of recipes for like endorsement deals and shit like that. And so I was like, how many of these can I recycle? So I was like, 25. Nice. So that gives me a head start. But I sat at the pool. I chose a hotel the Travel Channel had put me up at season 1 when we were shooting the upfront video. And it's just like the most creative space ever. And what I'll do is I'll think of a dish and I'll write out a 1-line description of it. And then I'll work out the mechanics of it. So, for example, there's a tortilla soup with guacamole wontons that I have in the soup. And so it's just like, well, what do I love about tortilla soup? What do I love soup dumplings. I love any of that shit. And then you just sort of conceptualize a recipe, and then I can always fine-tune it.
Can you put in like some recipes and then add a teaspoon of jizz, and just to see if people catch it, like one of those hidden eggs on DVDs? Remember that? Do you remember you like
Easter eggs.
Yeah, no. On DVDs they'd be like, find the egg in the corner, and it unreleases. Like, hey, you ever think about doing that?
Not for jizz. I cook with far less jizz than you might think.
Isn't that Harvest cookbook all about cooking with jizz?
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
There is a cookbook
Yeah.
that's all about cooking with placenta. I know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently cooking with placenta. And my director of photography, who
Someone's
I
at
think-
home. I thought it said. I thought it
Pastrami.
said. No, polenta. Oh shit, honey! It's gonna take a while for this fucking recipe.
That's disgusting.
Joke would have been really funny if I could come up with a fucking word. So you came out to write your book?
Yeah, did you have Dan? Was Dan your one of your DPs on your show?
Adler?
No.
Dan.
I don't know if I should throw him under the bus. But he was a director of photography for the same production company that did Birth Conquer at the beginning. And his wife had a doula, and she did like a home birth. And he showed us like pictures. She was like, the kid was born on the living room floor. Shit looked like a scene from Silence of the Lambs.
How can you fucking do that?
And I don't know.
I couldn't do the home birth. Joey just had a baby.
Mazel tov. No?
Do you want some pretzels?
Yeah, I ate some THC pretzels, so they hit me. 127 milligrams.
Grab those pretzels right there and read the ingredients.
I would love to.
I love that, Adam.
Anti-Dolores. Medical cannabis savory pretzels. Keep out of reach of children and pets.
But
it says,
turn around and read the actual ingredients.
okay.
I think it's on the back.
Oh, okay. I see some stuff on the front, but okay. Oh, here they are.
Yeah, I think the first two ingredients are really important.
Yeah, I like it. Cannabis and then pretzels. Soy sauce, rice vinegar, coconut oil, garlic powder, paprika, and onion flakes. Contains soy, wheat, but no MSG.
Oh, good. I'm worried about the MSG.
Yeah, when I have weed pretzels.
You put that recipe in your book right there.
Yeah.
The first time.
It's like, like bars put pretzels so you drink more. It's like, here's so you eat more
I
pretzels.
gave 3 of them to a stewardess last week.
You did?
Because I was eating them, and she came over. She goes, "What, you don't like our pretzels?" I go, "No, these are vegan." She goes, "Can I try one? What am I going to do?" No, I had a whole fucking bag of them. This bitch started eating. She goes, they're not bad. Can I have another one? I'm thinking to myself, where's her next trip to? And at first I didn't feel bad. I don't give a fuck. But then I was like, they could piss test this bitch.
Yeah.
And she was probably like, I haven't smoked since high school, I swear. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
I got slipped acid one time in college. Me and my buddy Ozzy, and we didn't get. Let me rephrase that. The guy had a drink that had acid in it, and me and Ozzy, the guy offered it to us. And we both drank it, and then he was like, "There's acid in it." And so we got up to our hotel room. We were in like spring weekend in Panama City. Got up to my hotel room. I looked in the mirror. And in the mirror, I saw my eye, and I saw me standing in my eye, like back 100 times. And I got freaked out, and I was like, the fuck? And I walk in to the room, and Ozzy's just staring at his feet. And I'm like, do you think we got slipped something? And he was like, I'm fucking losing my mind. We sat up in the bed watching the fishing network, like where they just caught fish, all fucking night long going, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. And then we started enjoying it, but yeah.
Wow. Did you ever stop watching the fishing network?
No, we watched that the whole time. It's relaxing as shit.
Except your fate. It's
Yeah.
fine. You know, after you go, where am I going to go? I'm here for 12 hours.
It's like Yoshi. When Yoshi, we have a friend Yoshi who Joey has this weed banana bread that he'll bring to shows, and if you choose to eat it, you choose to eat it. Some people do, some people don't. Yoshi is one that doesn't, but he didn't know there was weed in it. So Joey says, like, that banana bread, you have like a piece, right?
No,
Strong
Yoshi.
shit. No, when you want it though, you don't eat a ton of it. You have a piece and
No,
you're
I
good.
just eat a whole piece. Yoshi just had a little slice.
No.
I had a piece. Yoshi had a slice.
But he ended up.
Is he Asian? Is he a Japanese man?
Yeah, he's Japanese and he edits porn and he does stand up.
At the same time?
No.
Because that's very efficient.
But he had like 7 of these pieces or 4 of these pieces, and then fucking Joey was like, "You didn't eat the banana bread, did you?" And Yoshi's like, "What's the matter with the banana bread?" He's like, "It's weed in it." And Tom goes, "What did you do next?" And Yoshi goes, "I sat in my car for 7 hours."
Well, first he got on stage.
Yeah.
Yoshi did, and was like midway through his set, he was like, "Oh, my legs were feeling funny."
Yeah, he was fucking. We could see it, and he kept saying, "My friends got me high." And I was standing with Martin, and I go, "That's the fucking banana bread."
Yeah.
And then he got off, and I followed him. When I got listen to this, Adam, when I get off stage,
Sorry, it's just such a funny piece of deductive reasoning. Oh, it's got to be the banana.
Adam, he's sitting in the chair just like you. I walk in, and he's just rubbing his thighs, and I sit next to him for comfort, and I could see that he wants to say something to me, but he can't. Like he's trying, like he's like. And he kept rubbing his thighs, and he kept. And then every once in a while, he'd go, "Joey, what else is in this banana bread?" And I kept saying, "Just weed, but you're gonna be. It's just a little bit of weed." I didn't want to scare him. I didn't want to say you're gonna be fucked up. So we get outside.
It's gonna be a rough night.
He's holding onto the wall. He's got his claws in the fucking wall like Spider-Man. He's got a leg up. Like, you don't want to ride home? And he's like, no. And I felt bad at that point because I saw him go for it. He was hungry. It was an immediate thing.
Yeah.
He came in, he looked, and he goes, "Ah." And once he ate like 2 pieces, he's like, "This tastes funny." And once I see you go for it, I ain't going to say shit. It's not my job to say, "Don't eat that." I'm no dietitian. I'm not going to stop you. The rest is up to you. You know what I'm saying?
It does have drugs in it, though.
Yeah.
It does have drugs.
Then when he told me he didn't get high, then I thought he was a friend. You come into my realm, I expect you to get high. Something. You got to do something in my house. I don't trust nobody who don't get something, so I didn't know. The next day, I get up at 6 in the morning, and as I'm peeing, I mean, guys, I'm not lying to you. I take off my little fat sleep apnea mask on, and as I'm peeing, I'm like, fucking Yoshi, did he make it home? I really am. I've known Yoshi since 95 in Seattle. He was a kid when he came from Japan. I go in, I call him, no fucking answer. I'm like, he's dead. And then all of a sudden, right back, he called. I'm like, "Yoshi, what's up?" He's like, "All right, Joey, I'm fine." I go, "How long did it take you to get home?" He goes, "I just got home." It was 6 in the fucking morning. It took him 8 hours to get home from Brea to Beverly Hills. But the clinker was that he went to Carl's Jr. Did he tell you that story?
He had a hard time finding the drive-through. He kept driving in
called
circles.
the employee and told him to come out. That's the clinker. He could not find the door, so he went on his iPhone, called Carl's Jr. and said, "Listen, give me everything on the menu. Come on out. I'll give you cash." Gave the guy like $90 fucking dollars.
Wait. There was no drive-through open?
He
Couldn't find it.
it.
He just kept.
He kept driving around.
He was so fucked up. He was like, "Where do you pay here? There's nowhere to pay." So he called him and was like, "I can't find how to pay. Come out and let me order from you." And they were like, "What?" Just through the drive-through. He's like, "I can't find it." So they came out to the parking lot and went to the window.
I guess it's like a community service at that point.
Yeah.
He's so
That's the
fucked
show
up,
to
he
pitch.
can't-
What?
That's the show I want to pitch. Like, have a buffet every week and put like a certain product out there with THC and just wait to see what happens.
You know, like, but I love how you say it's not your thing, but Bert, we travel in the same circles. We go to a lot of these sort of dog and pony shows that we have to do, and like the meet and greets and whatever. If one of the hors d'oeuvres like has acid or something in it, will you let me know?
Oh yeah. I'll give you the nod.
Not those.
I always think of that when I go to Starbucks, and I'm like, why wouldn't some lunatic just put a drop of acid in on the half and half? Or like, why wouldn't they?
Dude, don't put that shit on your podcast because someone will now.
If I've thought of it, everyone have thought of it. So
I hadn't thought of it, and I've done acid on sugar cubes on bits of paper.
Really?
Oh my God! I watched snow melt. It was my freshman year. Of
you can do that
Emory.
off acid too.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing. You can watch it on a molecular level like you can. I watched The Story of Snow. I kept hearing American Beauty by Grateful Dead in my head, like on loop, like again and again. It was like that one year in college when I was like, I'm gonna shake off the dust of this yeshiva, and I'm gonna take some drugs and watch Wizard of Oz with Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, I did that many times.
Second Roy, you start
Second
the
row
album.
play. Yeah.
You used to do a lot of drugs in college. You OD'd, right?
Yeah.
Do you talk about that?
Oh my God!
I guess I will now.
What, you OD'd?
Yeah, I OD'd when I was a freshman. I took
Vivarin.
what did I take? I took some E, then I took GHB, but I took a huge dose.
Yeah.
Basically took like 8 doses in one shot.
Isn't it a horse tranquilizer, GHB?
No. It's
You
actually
used to be able
No,
to
that's
take
ketamine.
it.
It's special ketamine.
Yeah.
That's,
You used to be able to take GHB and go to sleep. Yeah, you want a beer?
yeah. Is this the place that the Mancaves dudes made for you?
Yeah, there's a man cave.
This is it.
He's like, I thought it was gonna be nicer.
Not at all. No. I was supposed to get one, and I lived in a shitty
beer?
basement apartment. Sure. I don't have a vagina on your podcast here. I would prefer something non-alcoholic, but.
No,
Then again, you got Girl Scout cookies in here. Do you have anything non-alcoholic in here or no?
No, I actually don't.
Then I'll just have a beer.
So wait, yeah, you were gonna do a man cave, right?
Then they said there wasn't enough room. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't know how there's not enough room in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Here you go. So wait, so Tom, you OD'd.
I'm sorry, back to the OD. Fuck them.
You OD'd.
Yeah, I took a bunch of GHB, and then I drank a lot. I drank like 15 vodkas. And
Holy
then
shit.
the alcohol and the GHB are like a fatal combo. So
15 vodkas.
yeah, it was pretty heavy. So, but the worst part is that the reason I had so much GHB in me is because normally you take GHB, we would buy it in water bottles, and a dose, like a hit, would be filling up the cap. So that's like when you take a water bottle cap.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's just a splash. And the guy who I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this ecstasy, he was like, well, I got some GHB in the car, but he had it in a milk jug before he put it in water botters. So it's a full, like it's too heavy to like tip into a thing. So I just put it to my mouth and went like, and then I realized I had a huge mouthful.
And you couldn't spit out his drugs.
To be
Yeah.
How does GHB? Is it a liquid GHB?
liquid, yeah, it's liquid. I mean,
It's like that Woody Allen when he sneezes in the cocaine.
yeah. I did it to not be rude.
It was like a shot glass full. Is that how much?
You're supposed to take you're supposed to take a water bottle cap full, and I ended up getting too much in my mouth, and I can't spit it out, so I just swallowed like 8 doses
Oh, because you took it straight from the bottle.
straight from a milk jug. Yeah, he
milk
had it.
jug
He had it in
of
a milk
GHB.
jug of GHB before he distributed it. He was going to fill up smaller bottles with it. So after that hit me, I was like fucking sky high, and then I just passed out. Woke up
Woke up in a hospital?
in a hospital, strapped down with tubes and all kinds of shit. And and I'm looking at the ceiling. All I see is ceiling light, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? And literally, like a movie, a doctor comes into frame, like on my left, and then she goes, "Hey, you might not. You're in the hospital right now. You overdosed on drugs." And I was like, holy shit. And then into my right side, both of my parents come into frame. And I was like, and they're like, you've been in the hospital for like 12 hours. You were in a coma. but you're out of it now. And there's, you're strapped down because you have tubes going in so you don't, you can resist, the urge to pull tubes out. That's why your arms are strapped down. And you got liquid charcoal being pumped into your stomach because that makes like the drugs, absorbs the drugs. And then you can't digest that. So you vomit. So you vomit up any more drugs. So all my eyes are totally bloodshot. And then they give you a pen and paper, but you have to like scribble. So they're like, what did you take? Because they're still trying to figure out what I took. And I write, like, heroin. And they're like, seriously? And I'm like, JK. And they're like, yeah, I swear to God. And then they're like, what is it for real?
Dick, seriously.
So I start writing the drugs that I took. And then my parents are there. And, like, I could just see how it's
Is there
the
any
worst
part
feeling.
that wants to doctor the list in front of your parents? Like, just a few vodkas.
Oh, no.
Dot.
They come back to me later with a crazy toxicology report. But so my parents are like standing there, and
So
I
at that
see
point, it was GHB.
it was GHB, alcohol, and ecstasy, but they're like the fatal combination is the alcohol and
Did you
GHB.
smoked any herb at all?
No, I hadn't.
GHB
Oh yeah,
alcohol.
I mean, it's used. GHB is used as an anesthetic in like it has been used as that in Europe.
You could
like-
use GHB. It was legal when I was in
could,
high school.
yes,
It was
for a
legal.
while.
You could take it,
Yeah.
and it would put you to. It was a sleeping sedative that burned fat while you slept.
Yes. Yeah.
That was what it was initially meant for. I never took it, but I remember people saying they could get it at GNC.
Dude, if you want to hit, this is the worst part of the
Clearly,
OD.
look at my physique. You know I've taken it. If it would, I'd be nodding off on this fucking couch.
I got fucked up.
I'd wake up looking like Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, yeah.
On
the comedy store. I used to date this girl at the comedy store. Stanhope introduced me to her. There was his neighbors. You know how you meet people in L.A., you don't know who the fuck you're meeting half the time?
Yeah.
And they drive like a little car, but their dad is somebody fucking huge. This was Mick Jagger's manager's daughter. For her 21st birthday, he bought her 2 Blockbuster videos.
really?
This chick was just spoiled rotten, and I hadn't seen her since she lived next to Stanhope. And I bumped into her one night. She took me back to her place. I mean, we had like a Sunday-only relationship for like a year. But she had cabinets full of drugs, from heroin to fucking, I mean, I OD'd over there one time, too. I mean, I must have eaten 30 fucking Valiums over there on a Sunday night 8-ball fucking run we made. But she was big into GHB. She'd come to the store on Sunday nights and drink it out of a water bottle. And one night, I remember drinking like half the fucking thing, going back to her house. And we were having sex, but I kept waking up, like, it was like we were fucking and sleeping. It was the weirdest thing. Like, one minute you're snoring, the next minute you're fucking. It was, I did it like 2 or 3 times. I knew it wasn't for me.
I never did GHB.
No, I know it wasn't.
I used to do it in class.
I mean-
in high school, we started doing it my senior year in high school.
What was
And,
it?
GHB. We would do it at lunch, and then for the second half of the afternoon of classes, you'd be high, and it's like a permagrin kind of drug. We always used to say that because you're literally the whole time you're like
Really?
no matter what happens.
Can
So
you retain anything? Can you function at all?
you can function, yeah, you can totally function, but it's basically in the right dosage. If you didn't take too much, it was like the perfect buzz. Like imagine if you're drinking and you hit a perfect like where you feel good, like you actually physically feel good, and you're just wanting to have fun. If you could dose that correctly, it's kind of like that, but you feel it everywhere. I mean,
So
it's really.
So what was the toxicology report?
Yeah, what was the thing you were going to say? You're like, oh, here's the real.
Oh yeah, this is like the most depressing part. Is like I'm strapped. I got tubes in, and they're giving me this pen. I'm writing this chicken scratch, and I'm like, my concern. Looking at my parents, I write, "Are you mad at me?" Because I'm like, and I'm looking at their face, and I'm like,
And you can't talk.
I can't talk. And they read it, and my dad goes, "No, just disappointed." And I was like, "Couldn't you save that for later? Like, right now, you gotta tell me right now."
Let down in my son.
Super let down in you right now.
Just
Fuck.
wondering if your mother had a longer coat hanger. Things might have
You
been different.
mad at me? Yeah.
You really let
I
us
hope my
down.
kids never overdose. I hope my kids
Oh
don't
my
get
god,
into drugs.
yeah. No,
That's
Yeah, let me
aim high, Bert. That's like really
I
that's.
just hope they don't get into drugs. 'Cause
Yeah, seriously, it's what is. I love the way that how Ramus says it in Knocked Up. No pills, no powders. If it comes out of the earth, it can't be all that bad.
I think I don't even want them to drink. So what I'm doing is I'm drinking aggressively because sometimes that turns people off from it. Yeah. I figure I'm being a humanitarian here.
Like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I hope that, like, I was playing fucking Monkey in the Middle with him the other day, and we were having so much fun. Mm-hmm. In my head, I was like, I should get a glass of wine. Like, just have a little wine, and then we could do this even longer.
Why did that happen, bro?
And then I went, how fucking sad is that? And then I go, we're having a blast. But my brain went, we should get a glass of wine. Like, real quick, just, go get a glass of wine. And I was like, I hope to God that they never have to fucking do that. Like, and that's not, I'm not saying that's about weed. Like, when you're in college, you could throw a Frisbee, you're like, this would be so much better high. But fucking throwing Frisbee is fun. I don't know. I'm just trying to be a great parent. All right, next subject.
So, I'll tell you about the toxicology. So, a few days later, I moved to, like, ICU, but I'm like, I have, like,
ICU
the worst of the tubes is out. Like,
is that how they welcome you? Welcome to ICU.
Actually cover your eyes again.
I see you.
The doctor comes in the frame, and the parents go in the frame.
Good news. I see you.
And then...
That's how you come out of the coma. That's the first thing they say.
So wait, so you get the...
so the doctor's like, he's like, so...
And then if the guy's a complete vegetable, they can put their hands over his eyes and go, you're in, you see me. So go back to your toxicology report.
University of California, me. You see me.
The doctor's like, you said, you just took these 2 drugs or whatever, right? And like the ecstasy, the GHB. I was like, yeah, and alcohol. He's like, well, here's your toxicology. He's like, first of all, basically, it's super good that you're fat because, like, you wouldn't, like, a skinny person wouldn't be alive right now with what's in your.
Well, if I was skinny, I wouldn't need to take these to hang out with chicks.
He's basically telling me, like, this is like the best. This is like the one really good argument to be 245-pound 18-year-old. Is that you're alive now? Because, like, he's like, this is so much is in you. And I had basically every drug class.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, you got opiates, what is it, barbiturates. You're testing off the charts for cocaine, for
they go back like a month and they tell you like what's in your system. You had cocaine from like previous parties.
No. This is all from that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because everything was spiked. No. Everything the GH that was the problem with GHB is you were getting you were never buying pure GHB. Real GHB is like made in a lab from a real chemist. And this, you were buying street version GHB that people would throw shit into. So you were never getting the real thing. That's why everybody was really super fucked up and ODing on it. Was because they were getting tons of drugs.
Shit.
Yeah.
I called my little sister Cotty when she was in college. I go, listen, I think I was... yeah.
Oxycontin?
What's that?
No, her name is Cotty.
No, her name's Cotty.
Oh, I thought that was like a drug thing.
No, I called my little sister. I called my sister Cotty when she was in Oxycontin. Yeah, I called Oxy when she was in college, and I said to her, "Listen, I don't know if you're going to do ecstasy, but I'm in New York doing stand up at the time. I'm like, I don't know if you're going to do ecstasy. I don't know what you do, but I bought this thing on the internet. It's called Dance Safe. It's to tell if you have clean ecstasy, so that because a lot of people are getting dirty shit, and I don't need to know. All I want you to know is that you have this, and you can, just to be safe." And she was like, "Who does fucking ecstasy?" And I was like, I guess we did a lot when we were in college. And she was like, "No one's doing ecstasy right now. I don't need it. Don't send it. I'm not doing ecstasy." And then I was like, "God, I look like a fucking dirtbag. I should have asked her first." Yeah. Okay.
It's real crazy because
Yeah.
I think about I never OD'd. Jesus fucking Christ.
You never OD'd? Even on heroin?
But Jesus fucking Christ, like, I only did ecstasy 3 times, maybe twice. I was too old. When ecstasy got released, I was already in my fucking late 30s, so what did I give a fuck about it? I had done so much, the way I look at it.
You never did ecstasy?
I probably did ecstasy 2 or 3 times. I did it once with Pablo Francisco in Miami. One time with Ricky up at the Comedy Store. And that's it. Never really. No, I didn't get it. I didn't. The way I looked at it was I already had enough problems with blow and pills. Why add ecstasy to the fucking mix? You know what I'm saying? At least you're being honest.
Just lost Adam.
I just,
Well, I didn't see
Yeah, and I already eat enough egg rolls and pizza.
Joey is one of those honest people you'll ever meet in your entire life.
You know,
the first time I met him, he was like, "Dog, you ever break into a chick's house on a Quaalude and eat a pussy?" I'm like, "No, I never." Those are the first words.
I can't believe we didn't go back to this when you're talking about how you learn about dogs and their aggression from being a burglar.
Right.
So, did you ever break into a place and have to like get a dog to chill?
I had never had a problem with a dog. I was always scared of him. And there was this bookmaker, a Spanish bookmaker on Hudson, on 58th Street and Hudson Avenue, in West New York, New Jersey. I knew I had to rob this guy. I went to pay him one night, and he had, you know how people have cabinets for towels?
Yeah.
Like towels. This guy opened his closet, and there was a cash register. Like all the shelves were like 50s, 20s, and 100s. This is where he conducted his business for sports betting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this motherfucker's going down. And I just gave him a few weeks. I kept betting with him. Me and my buddy Stinky were going to rob this guy. And there was a German Shepherd behind the fucking his place. Now, guys, I got no reason to lie to you. I was broke. It was 1983. I'm living in a basement with my buddy. And we're robbing shit and selling it and hanging out at the bar. There was no jobs then. Nobody worked then.
Yeah.
And we cased joints in the daytime. So I would case this joint. I'd wake up. I'd have like $6. I'd buy a Whopper Jr., give it to the dog. I wouldn't even eat. I would fucking buy food for the dog for this whole week just to case the joint. Then I'd jump the fence, play with the dog a little while, get closer. I'd rip up the Whopper Jr. in his fucking food bowl. Now we're Goombas.
You're greasing a dog.
I'm greasing the dog. I'm there for a fucking week and a half feeding this dog, bringing him milkshakes, the whole fucking thing, right?
Bringing a milkshake.
Oh, yeah. I was 18 at the time. The way I figured out was how to get to a man's heart is through his fucking stomach.
Dogs driving around the Carl's Jr.
I kept bringing this dog food. So came to Saturday night, we're going to rob this fucking guy. I go back there. I'm just about to bust in the fucking window, and the cops pull up. I hear when they broke, the thing went whoop. Like
Yeah.
a little light. The cop fucked up. And the lookout Stinky, he was getting food, the fat fuck that he was. There was a Cuban joint. He went in there to get food. And I'm like, where the fuck is Stinky? And sure enough, I see the cops walking with the flashlights. So I had to jump over a fence, and that's where the German Shepherd was. I go, I got this. Once the cops walk past me, I'll just jump over. I got the Shepherd. By the time they know what hit him, the Shepherd will bite them.
Yeah.
I jumped the fence. It's nighttime. The motherfucker don't remember me. He starts chasing me like I owe him $20 to the fucking end. To the end. And there's an A&P next to the guy's house. I'm cornered now. Cops jumped the fence. They're chasing. I got the cops and the dog chasing me. I felt so hurt from the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt so fucking betrayed. Not even that we didn't even get to rob the guy's house. Till this day. I had gloves on. And I got my hands caught in a barbed wire. I still got the fucking scar. None of that pissed me off. As much as that fucking dog, the loyalty turned. Like all week, I gave him my last fucking burger. You understand? If you give a fucking a guy that's dying your last burger, they'll give you something, a toenail. This dog showed me nothing, the motherfucker that he was. I thought about going back there and killing this motherfucker if I didn't. You know, but Cubans, they honor their dogs and shit. He was a shepherd. I couldn't kill him out of respect. But till this day, I'm fucking pissed at that dog. By now, he's dead anyway. Fuck him.
He's a shepherd. Any other breed, you're fucking dead to
No, I
me.
would have fucking killed him. But he was a shepherd. He was a good dog. He was doing his job, you know?
Fucking Shelter, you're dead.
And I could never kill a dog or something.
I couldn't.
Then another time I robbed his house, and the people had a cat. I didn't get attacked by the cat. My buddy got attacked by the cat. And to me, that was one of the funniest things because you never prepare for that.
Yeah.
You prepare for cops. You prepare for black people. You prepare for leopards. You never prepare for a fucking cat.
Yeah.
She would weigh the blow in a room. We thought it's because she didn't want us to see us weighing the blow. No. She had the cat back there. So we went to rob her. My buddy's like, where do I go? I go, when you go in there, go to the room. That's where she's got the blow. I was downstairs because she lived on the second floor. And we could hear the cat attacking my friend. Till this day, when I talk to that same guy, he always goes to me, you know, motherfucker, I still got the cat claws in my head from that fucking day. Because the cat jumped on his head and started pulling up on his scalp. You
can't fight a cat.
You can't write this shit. He kept coming to the balcony going, I'm jumping. And we're like, don't jump, we'll fucking kill you, cocksucker. Get back in there. And he's trying to pull the cat off his fucking head. And the cat's, like, one claw would pop out, but then the other one would go even deeper. You know what happens when you pull your cat off the front?
Yeah,
the one always goes, but the one stays in there. It ripped him fucking apart. He still has little things in his fucking.
That's when you headbutt a wall.
Oh, if you have a cat on your head, you have to headbutt a wall.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. When I was walking up to your house, I was very apprehensive. I saw a little orange cat. And I see
Yeah, Gus
your
Gus.
little daughter behind you.
Do not open these doors.
I will not. I will not. But yeah, I saw you have two awesome dogs, and my family dog just passed away. So anytime I get a chance to like play with a dog, that's why I came in with the pooch last time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What did
so
you meet
fucking
Priscilla?
awesome. Yeah, the big one. I just saw her, but she was locked up.
She
What
was
kind of dog is that?
bull mastiff.
That's beautiful.
She's fucking.
I heard she's a puppy. Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
Don't rip your fucking arm off.
Oh yeah, she's scared. She'll scare that. She scares a lot of fucking people. Like I
That's a
didn't realize.
big dog,
That's a
man.
big fucking dog.
Yeah, we had the exterminator come here yesterday.
Yeah.
And Priscilla like tried to like sneak her head out the door, but her head's so big, the second you can't like you got to like fight it back. And he got terrified. He goes, "Hey man, can you put your dog up?" I was like, "Oh, she's up." And he's like, "No, lock the back doors. Like if I'm going to be around this house, that needs to be up."
You know,
I was
the other
like-
thing is those paws, man. Those are like bear paws.
Yeah.
She gets right up. She gets right up in your face.
One of my godfathers has a Great Dane, big Great Dane, called Latka. Latka just passed, but Latka was like Marmaduke, and you know when Latka would stand up, Latka was taller than a man, so she'll take you down to Chinatown. And I heard that your dog will knock people over.
Oh yeah, she'll knock dudes over, and it's so funny to see like she's real, especially all my comic friends. She's real like timid around, and like she'll stare. Like her and Duncan, we did a podcast in here, Duncan's podcast, and Duncan comes in with the beard and the hat and his glasses, and he's like, "Hey man," and Pris is like, "I don't like this energy," and just starts following him, just like ghosting him. And Duncan's walking quicker and quicker. He gets in here. She stood at this door and stared at him for the entire podcast. Just stared at Duncan. I was like, Pris, he's a good guy. Look, yeah. So
Yeah.
wait, where do you live? Where do you live?
Brooklyn, New York.
In Brooklyn. You grew up in
Yeah.
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Really?
And where do you live now?
Brooklyn, New York.
Still.
Root to the fruit.
No shit.
Same like Biggie says, same number, same hood. It's all good. Seriously, I moved up. The place that I wanted fucking man caves to do for me. I lived in a 1-bedroom basement apartment, and my window was about the size of that shelf right there. It was actually a little bit smaller, and all I had a view over the bottom of the garbage cans and people's feet. So like I used a glass brick and like mirror trying to like transmit what little sunlight I had through my house. And I lived in this little apartment, and so when I got my show, I literally just moved up a floor like George and Wheezy. And now I have both. And Man Caves, apparently they sent their scout. He was like, "Oh, I don't know, space is too tight." I'm like, "It's a whole apartment, Jack. Like,
Yeah.
you kidding me?"
New York's people, I think people's perspective is different, especially like come out here to LA and they're like my friends that are like live in like Colorado or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." But you can totally tell in their house, they're like, "Your whole family lives in here?"
I met Jason.
Cameron.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
met him for the DirecTV stuff that we all did in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. And he told me about building your man cave. Was it a good experience?
Yeah, it was fucking great. It was the greatest thing. I think that yours didn't happen, and I think I got the money for both of them because they did not have this planned at all, and then they just were like kept adding and adding and adding.
They offered to like build these sets via like satellite and then like send me the pieces, and I was like, "What? Like you'll build me a bar and send me a bar? That doesn't me no good." It's a full apartment, and they could do something. And I called them out in front of like the DirecTV folks in New Orleans.
Jason's cool though. You get along.
He's
with Jason?
awesome.
Yeah, Jason's great. So is Goose. Do you know Goose?
I don't know Goose. Goose and I have corresponded, and I've actually in Toms River, New Jersey. There's a Holiday Inn that we stayed at.
Dimitri
when we
Martin's
shot
home.
the. Is it?
Yeah, Dimitri Martin's from Tom's River.
We shot at the Holiday. We stayed at the Holiday Inn while we shot the Jersey Shore episode, and he has a restaurant he invested in next door. It's got a big Siragusa jersey over the thing, but I mean, not for nothing. It's a whole apartment. It's got running water and gas and a full stove. Like the notion of doing a bar and grill. That's what I want. I want like sort of a bar and grill's kind of screening room thing, and I want three particular beers on tap.
Which beers can you say?
I want Guinness.
Yeah.
I want Bear Republic Racer 5 IPA out of Healdsburg, California.
Don't know that one.
And then I thought about the third. I thought about I need to go like an ale, and I was thinking like Bass. But then my friend last night made a really good point. It might be cool to be able to have like ice cold Asahi or Sapporo at any time.
Ooh, I can always go
Right?
for Asahi.
Because they're just they're crisp. They'll go with a steak. They'll go with a pizza. They'll go with fucking cannabis pretzels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that like you could always do something like but I think like if you have frosted mugs and you have these guys building you bar systems, and I see you've got a draft system.
Yeah.
Do you have a keg in there?
No, just beers. The keg. Oddly enough, kegerators are great for parties. They're horrible for everyday use because you put a keg in there.
They go
of,
flat.
Like, Blue Moon, and no, it doesn't last forever. And so and I'm on the road so much. I come back and then your lines go bad. You got to keep the lines active. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's great for parties. You have a party and you put a keg in, and it's like you don't have to worry about beers or trash or.
Are there services that you could like come in, have them clean?
Yeah. You have to get a guy come in and clean the lines for you. But it's cool. This fucking man cave is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And when they did the reveal, I came in, and Goose, it's typical fucking television. They're ready, and they're like, all right, we're ready for them. Go get them. So then the two hosts, this is how we do it on Triplet. Two hosts, Jason and Goose, come over to me and Leanne, like we're at the front of the driveway, and they're like, all right, we're ready. And then they walk up, and they hold there, and Goose looks at me, and he goes, don't fucking cry. I go, what? And he goes, I know you. I know you're going to cry when you see this. Don't fucking cry. I was like, I won't. And I was like, what? How good can it be? Mind you, this was a teardown. And we walked around and we see the doors and we see the pavers. We see the fucking couch. We see everything. And I'm like, before we even got out here, just looking at the outside work, this house was a fucking mess when we bought it. They fucking did the whole backyard. There's a shower right there. There's fucking... They put pavers all around, and then I see these doors, and I know we wanted to do that in our house, but we couldn't afford them. And I saw these doors, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then they had this all draped off, and I opened the door, and I saw it, and I fucking literally started welling up. And Goose is right next to me, going, "Don't fucking cry."
It's awesome, man. It's really awesome what they did.
It was great.
Yeah, they did amazing work.
No, wait, what's your new show, Adam?
The new show.
Because we are Travel Channel employees.
We are Travel Channel employees.
And we conduct ourselves as such at all times. I will note.
It's really cool because if you think about it, I mean, just 2 years before you, maybe, I think 2 years, maybe 3 tops, I was the new Jack. And you came in, and I had seen the spec for your show. And I teased Danny, and I was like...
Dan Adler's our EP.
Dan Adler, I auditioned for Man vs. Food for Dan Adler, actually at Katz's Deli, my final screen test. Truth. And I love this guy, and to know him is to love him. And I saw the spec thing on his desk, and I was like, kind of like all butthurt, and I was like, what is this, Man versus Ride? Like, it's structured the same way.
It was really close.
And so Dan's like... Not that. And he's like, look, your show works because of personality. You guys see this guy. And I saw the trailer, and it's Bert going up in this roller coaster.
Top Fuel
You
Dragster.
actually see him almost weep and mouthing, oh, fuck. And
then it got stuck up there.
Uh-huh.
It got stuck. They shoot you off at 124 miles an hour, up like 410 feet. I still remember my read. And then you get to the top, and you're supposed to crest over it and come back. The ride takes 13 seconds. It's a whole ride. So we shoot off. And we go up, and we get up to the top, and it hits the top, and it sticks, and it stops. Fucking the perfect shot. And I start losing my mind, and I start going, like, fucking full-blown. I start yelling, fuck you, to the crew, because I figured they did this on purpose, because they want a great fucking pilot. Yeah. And then I start, fuck, no! And I start having, like convulsing in my chair, and I give it enough momentum to roll backwards, and it goes back to the front, and we got to do it fucking again. And we got stuck on that ride 4 times because they couldn't get the weight right because we were shooting and we had cameras. So they couldn't get 4 fucking times I rolled back on that fucking ride.
You really do panic.
Oh.
and I got to say, man, not for nothing, I was like, I enjoy this guy, and I enjoy this guy because as a host, there's something you get. I think Andrew gets it. I think Tony gets it. The crux of being a good host is being a good guest. Am I right? If you're a good guest, you invite the audience in with you. If you're a host and you sort of impose a personality, then you're a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, I never really looked at it that way, but now that you say that, when you go to someone's restaurant, you're a guest, and if you're a good guest in their whatever you're doing, like for me, if it's going to a theme park or going to someone's backyard swing, if you're a good guest and people like you at the place, then it translates and you're a good host.
Think about if you're watching it through that window, like that as a window, not that as a TV. And if like you'd much rather watch a guy being like great, because the more he learns and is gracious and appreciative, the more we can learn and be gracious and appreciative. Like, you know, the shot that really got me with you, I don't know what episode it was. You were on a trolley with some little kid. Yeah. And I love the fact that it was, because it was something like kind of narcissistically, I probably am like, I would have done the same joke. But like he's like, he's talking to this little kid. He's like, you look back on this day and you'll be like, I partied with that guy. He was a cool guy. And it's like, kid's like 6 years old. And Bert's like, you'll be looking at me. You'll be like, I partied with that guy. That guy and I had a good time.
That kid did not get it. It was like
he didn't
French.
get it.
Like he just looked at me. Like
and he just stayed there. Bert didn't give up the joke, and it was so great. It was just so, because he wasn't disrespecting the kid at all.
Who does a bad job of what you're talking about, like as a host?
There are people, but
not on Travel Channel. Yeah, not on Travel Channel. But let's go through and rat out some bad hosts.
I don't know. No. I know that this.
Come on, I'll get in. Let's go around the room.
Yeah. I won't.
Tom, you used to tell a bad host that you think.
A bad host that I think.
And I'll tell you if that's inaccurate or if I haven't seen them or if I think they're.
I have to think of. I mean, host. I can think of. What's it called?
Louis Anderson on Family Feud was kind of special.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, he was all over the map. And Lou's a friend of mine, but he was not the best Family Feud host.
Magic Johnson was a notable
Magic
bad host,
Johnson
right?
was a horrible host.
Yeah, he was a horrible. But that was not. That was more because he was trying to sort of impose a personality, like you're saying. But he was
Magic
also,
Johnson had a talk show, though, right?
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. He was a horrible host,
and admits to it. It's not like we're saying something that nobody would, somebody would disagree with. But he also didn't know how to engage conversation. Like it wasn't so much his personality he didn't like. You're like, he doesn't know what he's doing. It wasn't.
Well, there's a moment of like, especially hosting live television or live talk shows, where your brain's kind of scrambling to fit whatever you're trying to say into a soundbite so that you can get the other guy to reply in a 4-minute interview.
Did you ever see his interviews? What he would do in an interview?
No.
Like what he did 100 times is basically like, if you came out, he'd be like, we got Adam Richman, Man versus Food. Give it out, and everybody would clap. You come out and be like, "Hey, man!" You're like, "Hey, man!" He'd be like, "Man, like, that's a good show you got, man."
Thank you, Magic. Thank you, Magic.
Yeah,
I like watch your show too, man. I like you too, Magic.
I watch you do your show, and it's like, it's a lot of food, man.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a lot of food. It is, but it's fun.
Man, sometimes I'm like, nah, I wouldn't eat that.
Yeah, no, sometimes I watch it too. And sometimes like I'll talk about it with my producers and I'll go, I don't know, that's pretty intense. But at the end of the day, it does make for great TV, and it's fun to show these local places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's a lot of food, man.
Sure is, Magic. That's a lot of food.
Sometimes when you eat it,
what's that?
When you eat it, sometimes they're like, man, he gonna be sick after that.
A lot of people think that. A lot of people, when they see Man versus Food, Magic, they think that like, oh, you must puke after every show. But like, I'd have no teeth to talk to you right now if I did.
He on the Dookie shoot all night on that one.
No, not really.
Wait, are you the side guest?
Yeah, he knows. He knows. Yeah, it is a lot of food, but like not as much Dookie shoot time as you might think. A lot less.
Man, all right, we'll be right back.
That was phenomenal. Oh man, the only way that could have been better is if I came to Bert's house in a DeLorean. Like I came all the way back to the Magic Show. What about the Arsenio Hall phenomenon? Because the thing is, like,
it's coming back, right? That's coming back.
It's coming back.
Arsenio had, remember on Entertainment Weekly was that famous quote of him saying, "I'm going to kick Leno's ass," because he had come to prominence right when Johnny turned the reins over to Jay. And there was a quote. There was a picture of Arsenio like this, popping his collar in a black leather jacket, and it says, "I'm going to kick Leno's ass." It was a direct quote.
Wait, what happened to him? Why did he get off the air? He had a successful
Exactly, but
There was
that's the
that
thing.
was a huge controversy, right? When the show left.
Well, it wasn't the whole thing. I mean, I think that if I'm not mistaken, I mean, it wasn't just a matter of controversy. It was hugely popular, and then I think that it just couldn't sustain itself. I don't think people wanted to bark anymore. I don't think.
Oh, I remember that.
But he was. But I watched it religiously. Channel 9,
yeah.
WOR, back in New York. That was my at a Secaucus, New Jersey. That was it. Arsenio Hall at 9. There's a rhyme in Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory. The song called what? What's Channel 9 if it doesn't have Arsenio?
Yeah.
Like, it was really interesting because he was tremendous. But then Dennis Miller got his show. I remember it was Letterman, Dennis Miller. Leno had just taken over the Tonight Show, and then Arsenio Hall, and who was he? Who was his band leader? Didn't he have a certain?
I think it was a young DMX.
Sheila E. was his band leader.
No, it was DMX. That's
DMX?
how he got to start. You didn't know that, John?
No.
No, John doesn't listen to much hip hop. Yeah, DMX he's a trumpet player originally by trade. No, John.
The D stands for Dizzy. He was a
trumpet player right now.
Man, DMX is one of the most fucking fascinating human beings in the world.
I've heard many stories about.
Y'all can't see me.
About like him. Yeah.
Boomer.
That's his dog. He loves.
Yeah. I had a great joke.
You ready?
I had a great joke right when I first started doing stand up because I was obsessed with DMX, and I kept saying, "It sounds like he has Tourette syndrome."
Hey.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, man. What are we gonna do? We gotta go to Wendy's. What? And the guy, and I would do this joke about him having DMX or having Tourette's, and then some black comic was like, "Man, I like that joke." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Next time, the guy's doing the exact joke verbatim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he was much bigger than me, and he had been to prison. So I was like, "Okay,
That's your joke,
it's all
man.
yours, buddy."
The best DMX story is when he got arrested. I think he got arrested at JFK. You know about that?
By impersonating a police officer?
A federal officer.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm a federal officer." They're like, "No, you're DMX, man. Like, we know who you are."
Oh, did you ever hear him? Did you ever hear him be interviewed about why he did that?
No.
Oh, he's on like the morning show, the Breakfast Club, in 106 in Park or in New York, whatever it is. It's all black, and they're like, "So DMX, I heard that you got your driver's license suspended," and he's like, "No." And they're like, "What?" He goes, "I drove here today." And then his friends were like, "Well, hold on." And he's like, "You're not allowed to drive." He's like, "Yeah, they took it away, but it's not suspended." And then they're like, "But you're a pretty bad driver." He goes, "No, I'm a great driver. I'm a great driver. If that dude just would pull over, I needed to show him some respect." And they're like, "You impersonated an officer." And he's like, "Yeah, I had to. The guy wouldn't pull over. I needed to pull him over, so I had to pretend to be a federal officer." Like, it was like, it was all very rational in his head. Like, this all makes sense. Have you ever heard him rhyme Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucking Rogan introduced me to that.
Yeah.
Greatest fucking...
What?
It's amazing.
It's amazing. DMX singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm going to fucking get it, and you're going to listen to it. You're going to be like, shut the fuck up.
Out of every tiny nose. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Get at him. Ride or die, Santa.
You know what? You were saying about the host thing that I do think where it really stands out more to me than on because TV, I think has a better percentage of good hosts than radio. In radio, you run into it a lot where you'll meet hosts that are all about themselves. So they'll be like, "Fucking Joey Diaz is here today," and then all you hear is the host. The host is like, "Ba-da-da-da-da," like he asked one question and then and then he's like, "Thanks for coming in." And you're like, "Oh, this is just like your own showcase for yourself." Like they don't interview the guests,
I will say this. I did the Tonight Show with Leno and then I did it with Conan. And both really great experiences, but I found Leno was very much about his guests. Uh-huh. Conan was incredibly funny, but he would use you to set up his wit.
Right.
I felt like he kind of like mocked me a little bit. I mean, a lot of people who watched it think, and I get it, and it's cool. But he was really funny. But Leno I felt was about setting you up to be funny, and I felt that was kind of his charm. And I also said Leno like came around to every dressing room, signed all the cards himself.
Really?
Went over each segment himself. Like Conan's producers had worked with me, and again, nice to a person, big pre-interview. But like Leno, man, I have to say was just like as a host for me, I felt because it's nerve-wracking, and Leno just kind of brings you out.
I have a very similar experience at Good Day Dallas when I go down there.
Bullshit. You and Rachel Ray, are like besties. You are the Michael Strahan to her Kelly Ripa.
I would love to do a fucking show with her.
Do a morning show?
We're doing the Tough Mudder, and then we're doing
for her show.
And then we're doing the Empire State Run. We're running to the top of the Empire State, and then
How
we're
do
going
you guys
swimming with
not
sharks.
do a morning show?
Yeah, you're looking like in terrific shape.
Thank you. It's that cleanse I did. Fucking cleanse was great. Here's
God too.
This is DMX. This is.
I know the lyrics.
Would you do us the honors of spitting Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Come on! Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you
Fucking DMX.
You would even say it close. Come on, come on!
Fucking love DMX. I need more of him. I wish I had visited him when he was in prison. Like, don't you like?
Did you have an option?
No, but I could have. Like, if he was just like, I'll put $100. I'll put 100. What do they call it, Joey, in prison when you put money in someone's? Yeah, I'll put $100 on his books. I just want to hang out with him for a little bit, and then him just come out and be like, "What's up?" And be like,
Put some money in
"Hey,
his
Earl."
account.
Yeah, I got some. I put 100 in for cigarettes,
Hey,
and I got
Earl.
you an asthma inhaler. And he'd be like, so what do you want to know?
Yeah, I didn't sleep all night. My brothers was talking loud, crazy loud.
Joey spent some time in prison, and
Loud all fucking night.
he said brothers talk all night.
like a motherfucker.
The brothers talk. So wait, yeah, let's just do an improv real quick. Adam, you can improv this. We're gonna all pretend we're in prison in different cells. Okay.
Okay.
And then we're gonna be ourselves, or are we gonna be? You can pick what nationality you want to be.
Joey's definitely.
All I wanted to do
black
was
eye.
make a joke about DMX singing "Dreidel, Dreidel, Dreidel." I'm like, go ahead. I'm in my own cell.
Wait. Okay. So because
Joey's a black guy.
okay, Joey, you're gonna be black,
You're in prison.
Yo, what up?
and then I'll be Bert.
Okay.
I got in for like tax evasion.
And I'm another black guy that knows Joey.
Okay, and then Adam, you're gonna be you be you. We're gonna be Bert and Adam, and you guys just be two black guys in prison. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So it's like,
And it's late.
all right, gentlemen, lights out. Kush, 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 kush.
Yo, Buns.
Yo, what up, Coco?
Yo, Buns.
Yo, Coco. Yo, it's Buzz.
Yo, Buns.
Adam.
Yo, Buns.
Yo, it's Buzz.
You sleeping?
Nah, man.
Adam Richman.
Fuck Adam, all right? Adam ain't here, bitch.
No, I'm looking for Adam.
Buns, what's up?
Shut the fuck up, white boy.
Hey, yo, Bert.
Buns, who's Bert?
No, it's me and Adam. We're speaking to each
Shut
other.
the fuck up, motherfucker.
Adam.
Buns, what we doing tomorrow?
Bert, let him talk. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Bun, we let the sun shine, dog. We let the sun shine all day.
Buns, what she say?
Bert, please don't talk.
You know how it is.
I have a really important question.
Coming through, trying to take that shit from me, man.
Oh, Bert, they're so
Yo,
black.
Bugs.
They're so black.
Yo, Buns.
Buzz, what's up, Coco?
What's your question?
Hey, that first season of Man.
Yo, man, shut the
Dude,
fuck
what was
up.
your rating?
We're having a conversation here, motherfucker.
I'm talking to my friend Adam.
Buns, these
not
white
talking to you.
motherfuckers
Bert is
are
okay.
rude as shit.
tomorrow,
So cute.
Oh, yeah? Well, my name's Adam Richman, and you can
Bert,
take my
no,
dick.
no.
Rude motherfuckers.
Bert Kreischer, Bert.
Yo, Buns.
Cut Bert and Adam's dicks off and fuck your mama with a white boy.
All right, end scene.
I'm so traumatized.
That was the first sketch we've ever done on my podcast.
I'm so traumatized.
That's going to definitely win a Webby. Or a-
I am so traumatized right now.
Have you
I
ever been to
felt
jail,
like I was in Oz. Is this my drink?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a lot of fucking
Yeah,
first
Joey.
stuff.
Joey was telling us that that's one of the worst parts in prison is that you never sleep because people just have full volume yelling from floor to floor conversation all night, every night. So you're never really resting.
It'd be fucking exhausting. There's so many things. Like I got my when I left Florida State, they didn't graduate me. I had to take correspondence classes back then. In like '97, it was before the internet was as popular as it is now.
This is after your 4th year?
After my 7th
year.
And I go
college?
I sign up and they're like, these are the Florida State prison classes. Same prison system, college degree, it's the same one. So I was taking classes like I was in prison, but I was living in New York, starting stand up, and they send you a box of books with all the questions. Like the tests are already in there, and like a little blue thing, and they're like write a paper. Answer these questions, and they're books like on fucking. And I was like, it was the hardest I've ever worked in school in my entire life. And I thought, I would never get an education if I was in prison. I would never be able to do this work. And I'm thinking about getting raped in the prison, in the shower. Like that on your head. How the fuck did you do schoolwork? Anyone who gets an education in college, in prison, I'm fucking shocked.
Yeah, no, I know. And the guys get like multiple degrees.
Like, prison's so fucking hard.
But you know what? They're always guys that are like, we're doing life. I got locked up at 19. I'm 48. Like they've been there so long that they're like, after all these years, I'm.
Fuck, I got raped. I might as well get my degree.
Yeah.
You know,
The
after
fear-
a while, they just go, fuck it.
Yeah, the initial fear is.
What's
gone.
the best part about prison?
There ain't no fucking good part to any of that shit.
Like, there's not one part that you, as you were leaving, you're like, I'm gonna miss that.
No. It's your freedom. You know,
What?
somebody asked me the other day,
Freedom to do anything pretty much in
The courts.
world.
They have great basketball courts sometimes.
Yeah, like some good pickup games.
Oh my God.
The competition was really good.
I don't have any respect for fucking anything. But I'll tell you what petrifies the shit out of me is drinking and driving.
Oh,
And
fuck
I'll
yeah.
tell you why. Because they take away your license. You don't know what life is when you have a car and then they take it away from you. Could you imagine if you had to walk to fucking Ventura to catch a bus every day? And that's what the part of drinking that scares the shit out of me.
That's why you don't drink?
That's why I don't drink. Because I don't understand in my head how somebody could take a chance and lose their license. That the worst thing about prison isn't prison or going and getting raped and all that shit. And I was in there for like 2 years. Nothing happens. The worst thing is a man kicking your couch and telling you have to wake up. That's something that didn't fly with me.
Just that dude hitting the stick
That's
on you.
it.
I'm like,
Instead of,
everybody awake.
Leanne says, Bert, honey, we got to take the girls to school. No. A light comes on and somebody kicks you in the fucking bed. That's what messes with you. It's your manhood.
Yeah.
It's not the bar. Hey, listen, that's a fucking piece of cake. Somebody brings you food on the weekends and you hang out and talk to black people. You know how fucking entertaining that is, listening to black people talk all night. You know, and just different things. You learn different things.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot scary. It's like when you're watching TV and they talk about the streets of Brooklyn. You're like, what street? I got Jews down the corner and I got more blacks up the corner than the Puerto Ricans. What street are you people talking about on CBS News?
Yeah.
What street do they talk about? Bert grew up on the bad streets of Florida. What streets are these people talking about?
In my case, it's definitely Myrtle Avenue in Fort Greene, and I would also say
What street?
it is also probably Bedford as far down as the Bed-Stuy stop.
Right, Bed-Stuy. You know, you have your, but it's really weird with society.
Myrtle Avenue is fucking terrible. They call it Murder Avenue.
Really?
Yeah, it's walking distance,
Nice.
From your place?
and the Barclays Center, so you can see the Rolling Stones get a Starbucks and shot. Yay, Brooklyn!
I grew up on Colebrook Court. Wasn't that hard?
Yeah, it
You
was.
grew up.
When I first came from Cuba, we lived on 205 West 88th Street. And then I moved to
I love that neighborhood.
that's my favorite neighborhood in the world.
I lived at 104 and West End, and my favorite restaurant in Manhattan, which closed, was see, I love Chino Latino food and Upper West Side.
On 74th.
79 or
Who the fuck
79th?
you think you're talking to?
Wait, but there's also,
Motherfuckers don't know about
but
Cuban
there's Perez Caridad.
Cuban
There's,
Chinese food?
yeah, there's Perez Caridad, and then there's Flor de Mayo, but the one that I love was called La Rosita, and it was on Broadway between 108 and 109, right by the, when they built the Titanic Memorial. It's Duke Ellington Way, and there's Broadway, and on the west side of it, La Rosita, and it was a mix. And I got the same thing every time. Tortilla con plátano maduro. So you get a plátano maduro omelet. You get their black bean soup with raw white onion. You get a negro modelo. And then they had homemade flan. And the whole thing could maybe cost you like $8.50.
Jeez.
It was ridiculous. It was like garlic bread, homemade garlic bread. That was just wonderful. And they would use this Puerto Rican bread called pan sabao. It's similar to Cuban bread. Not real Cuban bread. It has the palm leaf on it. There's a place in Tampa, Aguilas.
Yeah.
Aguila, I think they're medianoche. I think they use great bread. Great bread on that one.
What's the best? Okay, we've all watched Man vs. Food. What's the one dish?
But have you watched Best Sandwich in America? By the way, there is a new show.
Yeah, of course I have.
There is a new show, though. There is a new show.
Yeah, you're doing the new show
about fans.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, but no. Ask me the food question.
Okay, let's talk about food because I have
a couple questions.
The reason I took the job at Travel Channel, not even took the job. The reason I took the meeting with Adler is because they produced Man vs. Food, and I was obsessed with the show. It was one of those shows that I could not turn off. And if it was on, even if I had seen it, I'd watch it again. Fucking greatest show.
Thank you, man.
And I started using it. I think I've told you this before, I'm sure, but I started using it to travel. So like when I go to the road. Like, I go to Columbus, and I'd be like, well, fuck, I got to go to that fucking burger joint.
Thurman's.
I got to get the Terminator. So me and Bob Biggerstaff went to Thurman's with Dave Stroop, and we waited outside for fucking 4 hours. We waited 4 hours.
No.
4 hours. And all anyone was talking about was Man vs. Food. And it was packed. Swamped. You had to, it was so hard to get a table. We ended up going to another place you went to in Columbus.
Schmidt's Sausage House?
Yep. And we had fucking...
That's the one I always hit. The Thurman's I can't really go to because it gets a little cray-cray. But Schmidt's, man, if you're into, the grilled sausages, they make a spicy one called the Bahama Mama, and it's out of this world.
Where's that? What is it? Where is
German Village in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, yeah. Columbus, okay.
1 second. We got to talk about this thing. So where's the only spot now in New York to get that Chinese Cuban type stuff? They still got the one in Broadway.
Yeah, this Perez Caridad,
right,
which is
some girl told me.
79.
Winkler told me.
79, 70.
There a lot.
Really?
70,
Yeah,
maybe 75, 74.
Right.
So for the rice and beans, I go to Flor de Mayo on, I think it's Broadway in 96. But I usually just go to Comidas China Latino. Oh, there's also one on 14th Street on the north side of 14th between 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th, but it's on the north side, and it also says Comidas Chino Latino. It's great. It's like John
I just
Douglas
understood what you're saying. Food of the Chinese and Latin people.
Yeah, well, it's a synthesis.
You speak Spanish, Tom.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
I didn't.
Exactly what you said.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
is that
don't
what it
know
is?
that up to 1960, maybe, the biggest Chinatown was in Cuba. And Fidel still respects it. He don't fuck with it. Now, there's there's Chinese people that you look at, their faces, and they speak Cuban. Not Spanish. They speak, oye, dame el plátano, dame dos cafecitos, dame la carne humana. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I grew up with one that was really popular in Jersey. It was called La Campana China. It was on 57th Hidden. It's been long gone. And what they served you was pork fried rice, fucking off the chain, with a pork chop, with an egg roll, with black beans on the side. And you just say, what the fuck is this? And you explain it to people, and they're like, Joey, are you fucking, why? And I was doing Children's Hospital. That show, Children's Hospital. And Henry Winkler was talking about that neighbor. That's where he lives. And the chick was like, I eat there all the time. I'm like, this is great. That two white motherfuckers know about this.
Yeah.
But
Well, the one on 14th Street
don't know what I'm talking about.
The one on 14th Street's worth checking out. It's pretty great. Actually, that's down the street from Comics. They do the hack chicken thigh, fried chicken thigh, but they do it like Chinese style fried chicken fry with the fried rice, black beans. You can get tostones. But I love that stuff. Upper West Side, that one area, the Upper West. Have you been to V&T's Pizza?
No. I'm bad at fucking food.
Yo,
What was V&T's Pizza?
V&T's is right across from St. John the Divine. And Zagat's accurately said that a freshman in Columbia will sooner forget what they learned in English 101 than their first V&T's Pizza. They use full milk mozzarella, and it is the New York Italian restaurant personified. Super dimly lit, like cataract dimly lit. Red and white tablecloths, Chianti bottles on the table, but angel hair with pesto that's out of this world. Out of this world. I don't want to fucking share it with you at all. You taste the pine nuts, you taste the basil, you taste all the elements, but their pizza so milky. You know what I mean? It's may not be my favorite, but it's one of the absolute best experiences in New York for like get a big Valpolicella, like a big red wine and the red and white tablecloth, and they're playing Enrico Caruso records and shit. That's what fucking Patsy's used to be. Patsy's Under the Bridge in Brooklyn used to be that. It's not that anymore. Now it's just like a lot of yuppies going there.
That's what I love about Cuban food in Miami. Like I went and had Cuban food with Emilio Estefan, and he was like, I was like, I want picadillo. That was my favorite dish always. And he goes, well, if you want to have a real Cuban, you need an egg on it. And I was like, really? And now all I can think about, I ended up getting something else, but all I can think about is picadillo with an egg on it.
What is picadillo?
It's like a ground beef and like all ground up and with spices and like olives and
that
from the coast to up. Like if you look at the Cuban map, it changes in each province. The province where my family's from, they put potatoes in it, raisins,
right?
Throw it off, and olives over white rice.
That's because the Sicilians and the Moors settled there. That's why that's why Sicilian cooking and the Moorish Spanish influence brought raisins. That's why you start seeing rice. You never saw rice in Italian cooking before. And that was introduced by all the African elements and the Moor and Spanish elements that came through. So cooking with raisins, and that even went down to Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, they make tamales. They're called naca tamales, which have olives in them as well. And it's this interesting kind of lineage. And you watch like olive vines and stuff being planted.
Tom, you had a sandwich blog on your website, didn't you?
Oh my God! Like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that only because that was when Man vs. Food started, and hadn't you kept up a food blog?
I keep a book. I'm a douche with my website. I haven't done shit with it. I have to do more.
I gotta say something. I gotta get out of here.
All right, you rolling out?
I watched the show a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I even asked Bert about you. I think we had a conversation about him.
Yeah.
About the show, and you blew my mind. You're the real fucking deal, which you don't see in this society anymore.
Thank you,
You
man.
don't see this at all in this society anymore. Everybody's fucking, faking the funk. They think they're cool to be faking the funk. I don't get it. If you're gonna go on TV and talk to people about food, I'm 400. I was 415 pounds. I'm 308 now.
Mazel
I
tov,
would
man.
give my life to be 500 again, just to eat what the fuck I want, to smoke dope and eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what brings me life. Some people want to fuck and suck. Some people want to travel. Fuck you. I just from coast to coast, and I'm very happy because everybody wants to be cool and go to England and shit like that. I'm from Cuba. I wanted to see what America had to offer from coast to coast, food wise. I love what you guys do. Just going to Houston and eat one week and let these motherfuckers know Houston's got some great food too. Frisco, but it's amazing how anywhere you go now in this country, there's good fucking food. There's good fucking food. I don't give a fuck. Like 20 years ago, if you went to Pittsburgh, you starved. If you went to Iowa for 4 days and you were from New York, you fucking starved. I left New York in '83 when it was hard to leave New York. When New York was New York, I went to Colorado. You want to talk about fucking no food? And these people eating cheeseburgers and shit and turkey with cranberry. But I mean, you blew my fucking mind today, bro. You really, you got this shit down. You're a bad motherfucking Jew. I like you.
Thank you, man. Thank
I'm a
you,
Cuban Jew. I don't fuck around either, though.
Thank you, man. I love
You go
you.
out to eat while you're in town.
Totally.
There's only like 8 fucking Cuban Jews left.
Actually, I know a Cuban, and I fucked it up with her. I met her one time. We were shooting down in Miami briefly, and I had just gotten like really harshly dumped, and I was shooting at Joe Stonecrab, and I had my mom one side, of course, my stepmom, who there's a little bit of friction there, needless to say, and then she and her friends and family came in at the same time for the same taping. I'm running back and forth.
This is that
across
Super
the
Bowl
dining
thing.
room. Yeah. This was all the support shit, all the other restaurants. And this girl's mom was like standing there on the phone to my stepmom. She's like, I'll wait. And I'm like, this is family. I'll come to you. She's like, all right, come over. I want to introduce you to my daughter. And she's like, yep, she is a cute, literally, mother goes, she is a Cuban Jew. She was cute.
God, there's a joke just sitting there to be told, but I don't know what it is. Like a quick joke, but I don't know what it is. You rolling out, brother? Grab your, make sure you get your cookies. Awesome.
You
Oh yeah, all these motherfuckers bought Girl Scout cookies. That's why they came over.
Girl Scout cookies.
They.
Absolutely safe food.
Hey, love you, brother. Thank you. I leave Tuesday morning.
I'll see you for coffee tomorrow.
All right.
Do you have to like listen to it and edit all of this?
I don't edit any of this. I did the first one. I edited and I fucked it up. But so I just let it go. See you, Joey. People like hearing the authenticness of someone getting in and kind of talking, and you know, I enjoy it. Like I like the theater of the mind when you know someone walks in a room and you're like, wait, who is that? And it's fun.
I almost farted into the mic just to do it.
Oh, can I ask you this? Now you said that, I've always wanted.
Wow! No, you
It's
can't.
been on my mind. So
I hate
I've spoken to like some competitive eaters before about how they train and what they and I know you're not in that competition, but you've done that style thing, right?
Sure.
So all of them told me that when they're training, when they're eating these crazy amounts of food, that they always throw up right after when they're done. Don't let it pass. Did you know that before? Do you do that? And like when you eat like a crazy amount of food,
I would do cleanses that I got from my physician, and they were really intense and thorough. And I assure you, I was empty. I understand their point about don't letting it pass. Here's the thing. Reverse peristalsis, because there is definitely that school of thought of just like they just puke it up right away, right?
right?
Here's the problem, though. First of all, as someone with no aspirations to do that, like the iPhoche guys, and I'm not saying that they all do it. I don't presume to know that, and I never heard that, but I assumed in a lot of cases that's what happens.
Yeah. I didn't know. I realized I was saying something super inflammatory. This is what the guy told me.
No. It's obviously for me, it's always like a hot topic because I get, asked bathroom questions by fucking. I'm not putting you in this category, but like I get like.
Are you saying I'm like Magic Johnson right now?
That was the no look pass of questions you asked me. No, but real talk. I just for me, I figured, well, I spoke to my doctor about that. And the first thing, like I saw a bunch of doctors before I even taped. So I started, that's really comforting, by the way. Bert's daughter is standing behind him with a fireplace lighter. Like, making the Ringo face. It's awesome.
Keep answering the question.
No, it's okay. As long as your priorities are still hoping she has an overdose.
Oh, my God.
Give that back to mommy.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. I totally dropped dime on this little girl, but she's freaking me out with the lighter.
Fucking 6-year-old that lives like she's got 1 month to live.
But my doctor said, I went to a bunch of doctors ahead of time because my rationale was let me get a baseline of health and then strive to maintain that rather than repair damage.
Okay.
And that I think has really proven to be the biggest difference. Starting certain supplements, certain vitamins before. And I know that I probably would have put less weight on during the course of doing the show had I probably thrown up more. And I remember blatantly asking him, like, should I just get Ipecac? Like, he's like, no. As a physician, there is no way I will advise you. Because remember, I shot 59 of these. And before I had really great reps like I do now, like they would put me doing 4 episodes on a row and doing a challenge and then having to go back and pack and handle my own wardrobe and all this stuff. And like, so after I do this, and remember, every challenge was preceded by
you eating
8 hours of shooting
4
on either
meals.
an empty stomach. And then before that, then the days before that.
So you were like going through amazing, like intolerable discomfort, right? Doing this
It
stuff.
was just exhausting, like the toll it was taking on my body. And then once the show got popular, and to the degree that it got popular, it was a blessing. But as somebody who is, by his own admission, way too freaking sensitive, like to suddenly have the scrutiny and the attention and the love and the hate and equal parts and trying to wrap your head around being quote unquote fucking famous or whatever that is, and always trying to be humble and always trying to be real and true to yourself and true to your friends and true to like what made you a success, and doing all that shit and trying to wrap your head around it and trying not to respond to every schmuck on Twitter. At the same time, it's literally not even kidding you. We shot Columbus, Austin, Amarillo, Chicago. I think we had a day off in Chicago. And we shot straight. So that was like 8 to 10 hours shooting at the Thurman Cafe, eating. Then shooting at Smith's Sausage House, eating. Then this. And this is before I knew what to do. And then shoot for 8 hours and I just wouldn't eat. And then try to like take out the sandwich. So I finally went to a doctor and I said, listen, there has to be an efficient way. And he said, it's meant to go that way. And we'll help you get it out that way. I'm pointing from head to toe right now, ladies and gentlemen. But he said, he's like, it'll rot your teeth out, burn your esophagus out terribly.
Throat cancer. It's a fucking nightmare.
Well, to that point, the guy, the competitive eater, told me that the reason he actually had to quit, was because the damage he was doing to his esophagus from all the throwing up.
For me, my big thing was because I was doing these flushes. And I was very disciplined about doing them. Very, very disciplined about doing them. And they, trust me, they're not sexy. And, like, I was always jealous because, like, my crew would go out. I remember doing it after the...
so fucking pissed.
Dude, after the 5th third burger, the one that I had to eat between the 7th inning stretch and the end of the game, I couldn't believe I took the burger out. And, man, I stayed and I signed fucking autographs for every single person in that stadium, feeling like death, right? Went back to the hotel, delirious with bloat, because you drink this stuff and it bloats you out and it brings water and then you just empty out.
I can't.
How sick we must have felt.
And so I'm then like, they're telling me where they are, like, hey, we're going out to whatever, and then they'll be like, we'll bring you back something. And at this
Fucking
point,
Beanie. Fuck Beanie. Let me tell you something.
so they're like going out, and then they're like, dude, this waitress last night's so hot. So hot. She had the best ass. She was so cute.
This, by the way, this is
She found out what we were shooting.
Crew. I would when they were off shooting, which was like barely ever. I would steal these crew members, so I partied with these guys, and they were like, yeah, man, it really. They felt genuinely bad for Adam because he'd get done a challenge, get on a plane, go to the next place, and it was all over, fucking starting all over again. But Eric Beanie was our sound guy. We shared him at certain times.
2-time Emmy winner, Eric Beanie.
He is one of the funniest fucking guys.
Eric's the funniest member of the crew.
But he is hands down, and he's the guy that would be like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to eat, Adam. We'll bring you something back." Like,
no, but not trying to be a badge.
Yeah.
Not trying to be a douche about it. Like, they would leave and like try to like involve me and stuff. And I they would go, "Oh, dude, yeah, man." And I remember I was like on the road, and people think that it was just because I read like my Twitter feed that it's just like a honey dripper on the road, and it's not like that. And they're like, yo, man.
So
the waitress was so hot, and then she found out what we were shooting, and she was like, oh, is Adam coming? And I was like...
He's throwing up right now. He's really sick.
He's in the hotel room getting really good on FIFA on his iPad.
How good are you at that? What level do you play at?
FIFA on my iPad?
Yeah.
I like semi-pro, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. You're not like, okay. Have you played it?
No.
I
don't believe it's
on the iPad?
4 hours a night. Yeah, on my iPad.
Yeah, dude, addicted.
It's fucking the best.
What is it called?
FIFA World, the soccer game.
FIFA
Can you
13.
use play with your fingers?
Yeah, you just play on the screen. It's super. Like you'll sign up for a
think I
tournament.
may
You're
have
like, I may
elbow
make these
damage.
quarters or these halves a little longer, and then you'll start playing tournaments where you're like, holy shit, I've been playing fucking FIFA for like 5 hours straight right now. I just won the Spanish Cup, and I'm gonna start a new season.
Yeah, FIFA is crazy, and now FIFA. I had it for the Xbox. I'm never really home.
Yeah.
But I got it, and I really got into like designing characters and like creating characters.
Yeah.
I created like this fictional 3 brothers, and they all played for different teams, and like
that's great.
I made them all look the same. It began with a joke with my friend Lauren. We're talking about because it's the truth. I'm a huge soccer fan.
I did not know
Huge.
that.
Oh, there's a video. I don't know what is that. The team?
No. That was the video you're talking about. Video you're talking about is me visiting White Hart Lane, which is where Tottenham Hotspur play, and I'm a Tottenham Hotspur supporter.
Yeah.
And
And there's a very popular video of Adam like kind of fucking flipping out, like losing his mind as he goes to the place and he sees the like all the things. I don't follow soccer, so it was kind of like I didn't understand it, but I understand the emotion. But
yeah, I cried. I totally cried.
Really?
I saw the pitch.
Who's your team?
Tottenham Hotspur.
Where's that? I don't even know.
It's North London. They are currently 4th in the Premier League.
Wow.
I just started understanding soccer a tad bit. Enough to get a Manchester United jersey.
So that's how I started too. I got a Man U jersey. Like everyone in America supports pretty much 4 teams, I find. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. And I said I'm a Man United fan in the very beginning, and I was really following it. I said, yeah, Man U. Because they're great. They were the first team I ever played with on my FIFA. They are great. Tradition of winning. They've got a dynasty. Great players. Their manager is a knight, And then my cousin started telling me, oh, yeah, my friend Troy, he supports Spur, my Tottenham Hotspur. And I had asked my Twitter followers, what team should I support? And they all sent different things. And one guy sent me 100 great goals, Tottenham Hotspur. And I found out that it's also traditionally the team that the Jews in North London traditionally supported.
Okay.
Really?
To such a degree that the fans are called Yids or Yiddos or the Yid Army. The Spurs don't actually like it, but the fans will always say it. And this is really fucked up. But all the Chelsea fans, this is a report I read. During World War II, would make gas chamber noises because they knew that a lot of the Tottenham supporters were Jewish. They would go, tss, and then they would.
What are you laughing about?
I love it. It came right at the Holocaust thing.
Those pretzels. I know. John's losing his fucking mind.
Over there too. Like, what's going on?
He's losing his mind, laughing hysterically, and I'm like,
I was just thinking of something else, and then I was like, it's inappropriate to laugh now.
Because he's talking about the Jews and the Holocaust, and John's literally doubled over laughing. And then we go, what is it? He goes, those pretzels.
I knew, like I wasn't supposed. It wasn't appropriate like that. That made me want to laugh.
That's exactly why I don't eat them, by the way.
How many had you had?
I was
so glad you
tapping
said
out.
something.
He's tapping out.
I was so curious because I saw him like.
He was laughing, he was crying, and I was like, wait, he must be a big Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur fan. And Jerry Me Hotspur. So, and then you said they call them the Yids, and I'm like, this is a pretty intense thing, and John's sobbing over there laughing, and then, so wait, what is it? What's so funny? He goes, those pretzels. Oh,
There's a lot going on.
How many did you eat?
he didn't need any.
This room was very smoky.
That's why Joey came to the first podcast I ever did was with Joey, my dad, and Buns, and Tommy, and Joey ate a bunch of pot cookies and asked my dad if he wanted one. My dad is not a pot smoker at all, not at all. My dad's like, oh, maybe. I was like, Dad, you don't want one. Then we come in here and Joey was so fucking high that my dad had like a whiskey and he was like, what is this guy's out of his fucking mind? I love him, but they really hit it off. Mostly because my dad lost his dad at a young age, and Joey lost his dad at a young age. So they have that man thing where they had to take care of themselves,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but that was all right. I'm glad I killed the energy.
You know what I do like? The only thing I do like about soccer, the Premier League, how you can fall out of it.
I like that too.
Like if the NFL did that for like the 2 crappiest teams every year, you're not in the NFL anymore, and the 2 best college teams moved up.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 3. It's 3. And what's even cooler is that 3 get to come up. And that's how it goes from every league. There's relegation and promotion. And that's what's so great, that you could be a team like this year, like Swansea from Wales. They are fucking killing it. And they just got into the Premier League last year. West Ham United, who like Bert Beanie supports.
Yeah.
Nick Frost, Ray Winstone. Like, great team. West Ham United, they were in the Premier League when I started following in 2011. 2012, they were fucking sent down a championship, got promoted, and now they're like in 6th place again, in 5th place. It's. I agree with you, and that's why they call if you are promoted from the Champions League. So there's Premier, Champions, League 1, League 2. And if you're promoted from the Championship League and Power Championship League to Barclays Premier League. They call it the richest prize in sport, or it's been called the richest prize in sport because the opportunity to compete on that stage, and you get so much money.
But you got to back it up. You don't win. You go back down. I like that.
I like that too.
What's also kind of interesting is the Champions League, which is the most prestigious, because that's the clubs from all over the world.
Yeah, that's crazy. Winning that is insane.
Yeah, that's the clubs from everywhere. The best in England versus the best in Italy versus the best in Norway versus the best in whatever. Those are always what I think is kind of fucked up, but kind of interesting, is that if you win, you're automatically guaranteed a berth to come back. You don't have to earn it every year. That's why Tottenham, my team, got blown out last year. Chelsea, traditionally, Champions League qualifies certain teams in certain countries, and because of the level of play. So, like, Ireland can't get a team in. You'll never see an MLS team in because right now Champions has not deemed them on that level of play yet.
Really?
Yeah. So, but in England, the top 4 teams in the Premier League go to Champions. Tottenham was in 4th, but because Chelsea won, even though they finished 6th in the league, they get to go back. And Man United, Man City, and Arsenal all got to go to Champions.
Even though they were 6th?
Even though, yeah, and Tottenham was in 4th, but 4 EPL teams. And the champions always get to return. But that's why you get to see games where it's Barcelona versus Man United.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you see the Spanish style of play versus the English style of play.
Fucking considering.
What is the English style of play?
English,
I'm thinking of the cheering.
Oh, well, that too.
I'm thinking of the cheering. Wait, what is?
I'm talking about on the pitch. On the pitch. So the Spanish, they tiki-taka. So it's very short, 6 to 9 yard passes, and this really interesting rotation that the Man United coach, Sir Alex Ferguson, he called it the carousel, and they rotate, and all they do is wait for you to fuck up, and then they place their passes, these 6 to 9 yard passes, so clean, and up front they've got the best ball handlers in the world. They've got Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
You have Andres Iniesta, and there's this little guy named Xavi that people say I look like Fat Xavi, which I kind of could take because he's a brilliant central midfielder. He could pass the ball that they say he airmails the ball. And so he's got a great front line. And the British style of play is, I find, traditionally, it's played out of a 4-4-2. Long ball. So the play starts the defense. That's why most captains in England, you see a lot of defensive captains. Vincent Kompany from Man City, for example. But these defenders, they set up the play, and they distribute, and then you go on a run. And the trick is to time your run such that you don't get caught offside. So you'll have a midfielder time it, and these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars to just set up these plays so that the ball's already in play by the time these guys go past. And like Cristiano Ronaldo, who's an $80 million player, plays left wing for Real Madrid, and the guy, I mean, he's beyond gifted at what he does. And so to see him against a very blocky, geometric system, like, you don't look back at the Premier League. When's the last time you saw, like, a British player do a lot of fun little foot stuff?
Yeah.
You see Luis Suarez from Ecuador do that shit. You see Colombian players do that stuff, or Portuguese. But so I think it's a really great thing. Like, the British game goes, it's the fastest, it's the closest thing they have to, I think, American football.
You mean throw ball?
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Hand egg.
Throw ball?
Hand egg.
You mean the original one?
If you were to give me a quiz on any of that, if you were to give me a quiz on any of the soccer talk that just happened right here in this room, I would not do well.
It was pretty dorky. I'm sorry about that. That's my problem.
I find it interesting that you're into soccer.
My interest in it is 100% due to FIFA on the iPad. Like,
I back you
swear
up
to
on
God.
that. I back you up on that.
Yeah.
That's how I initially got into it.
Yeah, that's totally the fun
I'm
part
fucking
of it.
downloading it now. I want to be a
fucking
soccer
so much
fan.
fun. It's
It's
so much
It's like
great.
when a girl it's like discovering cutting or collecting stamps. Like I want a new sport.
And
to
I
like.
have to,
Is that a bad analogy?
not that I'm an
They're
expert
in the
on
same
it,
category.
but not that I'm an expert on it, but whenever like you hear about somebody who's once in a generation, like best of an era, is playing in any sport right now, it always makes you want to check it. Like, you could be not a golf fan, but like when Tiger Woods was like in his prime, winning every week,
Watching
you'd be
him
like,
was
you'd be like,
exciting.
dude, watch this guy play golf. This is retarded.
Yeah.
Like he wins every week, right? So like, arguably, when you watch these pieces that people are doing and highlights of Messi right now in Barcelona, like the last few years, like I've been watching. He's on Sports Center, every other fucking night when they're playing.
You know who that is, Bert?
It's
No idea.
Lionel Messi. He's Argentinian. They call him the Little Wizard. And
It's stupid,
he's this
man.
little guy.
That sounds racist.
It does sound
I
racist.
don't know if I can support that.
He's plays. He wears number 10 for Barcelona. He's the actual cover guy for 2013 FIFA.
that dude's. But watch his go. Just
I'm downloading it.
no, but
you
but
sold
I'm
me.
saying go to YouTube and type in like Lionel Messi
Oh.
goals, and it's
That's the one thing
incredible.
that sucks about when they like Sports Center. They like basketball is fun to watch highlights. Football is fun to watch highlights. Baseball is like it's all right, like the good catches, but those are few and far between.
Yeah.
Soccer highlights are fucking awesome,
Amazing.
awesome. But it's like there's not enough soccer fans here, so they don't really cover it
Yeah.
on Sports Center.
Yeah.
But I just want the highlights.
Or you want them like they'll show the most amazing goal, but they'll show like the kick and they'll cut to the next thing. You're like, what about the fucking pass
Yeah, the
that
setup.
led to that? Yeah, the setup. Like, go back and show me that shit from like
Yeah.
nine
The other
angles,
thing
man.
is, let's just be honest. Think about the games that are really big in America. For the most part, you have football where you're getting 6 points, 7 points, any given score, 3 points.
Yeah.
So you have games that finish 36-34.
Right.
Basketball, you have games finishing in the 80s and the 100s, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For an American audience to watch any sport continuously for 90 minutes and be satisfied with 1-0,
Well, yeah, and it's
you
and-
have to enjoy the game. That's the bottom line. Is there's not a lot of scoring. That's why when there is when there is an actual scoring try,
Yeah.
then it's such a release because it's a 26-minute buildup.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's yeah. Americans do not have a tolerance. A lot, I should say, not all. Yeah, have a tolerance.
Joey mentioned that earlier. I've been thinking about this TV show because he mentioned it like the buffet where you have one dish
that has something in it.
Okay, here's the show. And the ideal name, sadly, is Man versus Food. But we can't do that.
Because it's already been used.
But it's like,
Just
that's
fuck
what
those
you
people.
tell
Do it
people.
anyways.
That's what you tell them. Like you get guys like, okay, here's the deal. You got to go to this buffet once every 30 minutes. One dish has weed in it. We're going to ask you questions after each course. And the person that can last the longest without us knowing you're high wins $1 million. But the trick is you put weed in every single dish.
So there's just
And you
people.
just hear them trying to talk like they're not,
Like you're talking.
Like, yeah, exactly.
no, but like
You never believe he's a successful producer.
no, that's a funny show.
That is a fucking funny show.
it is funny.
So was my pitch to Sharon Levy, Can I Kidnap Your Child? But she did not find that fucking
No?
fun. No, she passed. On the title she passed.
I thought you meant she died.
No,
You
no,
said-
she passed. Ah! What time's your heart out, Adam? What time you got to get out of here?
I should probably still pretty soon. My manager, my lovely manager, Miss Eileen Stringer of Sherman Oaks, California, has invited me for a home cooked meal because I've been away from home for a while. It's
There's something I've always wanted to talk to you about that I don't understand that bothers you, but it does not bother me. Or maybe
Boys have a penis. Girls have a vagina.
Maybe it doesn't really actually bother you, but it was rumor. But someone said that you don't like, and there's other celebrities that don't like this when people take pictures of you, like they try to sneak a picture of you.
You know, it's funny.
Because by the way, I absolutely love that. Like when I'd rather.
I remember
someone,
you told me, and it's actually your rationale. I used to be a really big douche about that, and I will cop to it. I found it to be super invasive.
Yeah.
I found it to be like, you know, as a big dude, sometimes I don't really think that certain angles are certainly the most flattering, and I think that it just adds more room for derision. And I find it to be a little bit obtrusive. Like, I don't know, when I'm ready, when I feel like taking pictures before I had a show, like if someone like woke you up in the morning, let's say, or like I was running, you lived in New York,
Yeah.
I'm running to the bodega to get some milk and to get some like Gatorade or whatever, and then run back to my place, and I'm in there like flip-flops and this and a sweatshirt and stuff. You know what I mean? And I used to be kind of an asshole about it, I have to admit. Not like to my fans, but just really very vigilant and on set. And then I stopped and I realized, one, you said, if people do that, then they don't need to stop you for a picture. They feel they've already gotten a picture.
Yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't drive me nuts. But I'd rather someone snap one of me. I'll even mug. I'll even do like lascivious, like make so they get a better one, because I'd rather the stopping down and then handing off of the camera to someone and then here can we take one more like that. I was like, it's so much easier for them to just go snap snap snap, and you're like, oh, you got it, all right.
Yeah,
I've never seen you mug in a photo.
Oh, fuck. That's all I fucking do.
But I've since given up with that also. It's just like, it's like, I'll have a bigger problem when people no longer want to take pictures of me. So I figured just sort of like let it.
But you went from 0 to 150.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that was so different in our careers is that I've been doing bullshit pilots for fucking 10 years that never went anywhere. And like I would venture to say probably Man vs. Food was one of like the fucking probably one of your first big green light projects. I mean, you were a working actor.
Yeah, but I was doing mostly staging commercials.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden to go from and to be a show that defined a network, and in a weird way defined the programming of that network, and to then be like that. So in your, and I'm not saying in your defense that you need it, but like in your defense, that's a lot to put on a fucking person.
Yeah. yeah. I mean, I remember. Did you ever meet Dan Kornfeld? He directed season 3 of Man vs. Food, and he's great. He's great. Great director, great producer. Dan told me once that in China there's actually a curse, like a negative thing you say to someone. You say, "May all your dreams come true," and you get it a little bit. It's like you want the cash and prizes. This is the exchange.
Yeah,
you know, whether it's college guys getting beer muscles and wanting to like fight with me in ASU, or like people wanting to like touch my stomach, or girls saying obnoxious bathroom stuff to me and stuff. If I want to still, on the other hand, be able to pay off my student loans to Yale, buy my mom a car, save up for a place for myself, have a driver waiting for me to take me back to my hotel, whatever, then the bottom line is that's the trade-off. And it's, you can't be a little bit pregnant. And so I've since become significantly less cunty about the pictures. And I just think, look, make myself available, because there'll be a time, God forbid, where I have to wonder about my availability, you know, and and
I know exactly what you're saying.
And you're a product. And I came out of Yale Drama School, and a lot of people were purists, and I just try to be I can't repackage fucking Manwich's caviar. Like, I know what I am.
Manwich's caviar.
Like, I know what I am. I'm not going to fucking piss on your head and tell you it's raining. Like, I'm very well aware of what my sweet spot is, and I think if I suddenly were competing on Top Chef, I think you'd immediately know I was out of my element. Or if I was judging the great cooks of the world, they'd be like, first they'd burp, and then they would go, apropos of what? They'd be like, who are you to judge?
Although it would be funny if you did do that, and you were like, this was good, it would only be better if there were 15 pounds of it. And then just went to the next person. That was all of your notes.
Et tu, Bert.
Did you think about possibly bringing a wheelbarrow in?
The pictures thing. The pictures thing made you crazy, right? Initially, you said used to agitate you more. Is that online with? Because I imagine you get a lot of bathroom questions. Hey, what kind of shits do you take? What size?
Yeah.
What do they look like? What's the worst one? Do you have like a go-to? Like, do you go like? I don't,
4 very specific ones.
well, those are all been in my head. I wanted to ask them for the last couple hours, but
so you, a la Magic Johnson.
yeah, like magic. But that's just a topic that really genuinely interests me. Like, I'm not saying it. Like you know, I have this conversation with everybody. Is what I'm saying.
Tom's first Vine was a picture of him taking a shit.
I
Thank
you
you,
know,
Bert.
I always tell people, like, you know, anything really bathroom stuff, I'll discuss with, you know, my physician. I still think that's, you know.
But is that what do you go? I'll say it from my doc. Is that like your go-to passing response?
Generally speaking, or like this one guy, like, said something trying to be funny in front of a bunch of chicks in Boulder, like trying to like clown me, and I was just like, "This is not going to happen." I said, "All right, let me get this straight, man. So you are genuinely interested in the anus of a stranger that is a grown man. You want to know what?" Because he was like, "What's your butthole like?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I just need to know. I need to know." I'm like, "So what you need to know?"
Like,
You need to know what another grown man's anus is like. That's what you're interested in? And I was like, "Girls, this is a guy you want to hang out with, or would you rather come have a drink with me and my friends?"
Boom.
Yeah. He was there, and I was like, "I know you think you're funny, but you're being rude and disrespectful." I was like, "It's cool, man. It's cool." I'm like, "It's not cool. I don't like you. And when you watch my show, know that I don't like you."
that's the fucking craziest thing. Is I saw a long time ago. I saw Adam Sandler in that Diary of, and he apparently has horrible road rage. And I was like, I wonder how many times like he's fucking loses his mind driving, and people are like, "Hey, it's Adam Sandler," and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey, look, take a left, asshole." Yeah,
He's got bad road rage.
in Diary, this was.
Well, you
mind
can see the guy has rage in him.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've seen it over the years. Like when you can pull that rage out like that, that's in
Yeah.
you, you know? Like that's one of his kind of
So when are you going to start a podcast, Adam?
What am I going to start? I need to update my website.
Do a podcast. I'm telling you, do a podcast.
I will. Oh, yo, new series, homie.
Oh yeah, when does it start?
I start taping it in Daytona on the 22nd. The network wants to call it Fandemonium, so I think we're going to be calling it Fandemonium.
And you're basically you're
Pick
going.
a fan of anything. Fan of Lebowski Fest, a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan.
So it's not technically it's not
Initially,
driven by-
they were foreseeing it to be a largely tailgate show.
Yeah.
But not every type of fandom lends itself to tailgating. Renaissance festivals and so on, Civil War reenactments. But those people are fans, and they dedicate themselves just as hard as the most avid Raven fan or Dolphin fan. So we are going to go around and give fans the ultimate fan experience, whatever that is. So in Daytona, we're going to basically give a family that's been going to Daytona for years
Oh, the Daytona.
on a certain thing. Yeah, the Daytona race is happening. And the thing is, it's not about, you know, pimp my tailgate as much as it is, I don't know. I mean, I'm like a Dolphin fan. I'm a Hotspur fan. I spend money on my web memberships and watching the games, and there are much more avid fans. And I think that those guys who do a lot need to get a thank you. And I think it's actually really kind of cool to like surprise people.
That'll be fucking great.
Like to do a man cave, but for someone's fan experience.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. When's that? You don't know when it premieres?
cool.
I don't know when it premieres, but I pray to God I don't mess up taping the first 10 episodes.
Oh, you're gonna fucking kill
You know,
it.
a show that has premiered.
What is that, John?
That's be the Joe Schmo Show, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. on Spike.
John Moore is your executive producer. He wrote all the
The
jokes.
finale coming up March
Tommy
5th.
Buns?
Tom Segura.
Unbelievable.
TomSegura.com. I posted a bunch of new dates for April and May, so come check me out. I'll be at a club near you at Tom Segura on Twitter, and you can watch that shit video on Vine. It was really nice to meet you, Adam.
Great to meet you as well.
Really interesting.
I hope
guys
you
would
do
get
the
along
magic
well.
stuff on stage because that shit is funny.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man. I might do that actually.
I think that Magic Johnson bit is funny as hell.
Check out Joey Diaz's shit online. He was here. I'm Bert
And
Kreischer.
good night, Moby.
Good night, Moby.
Who has to give up their mic?
What?
I'll
John.
give up.
John.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the one guy who's consistently every time people go the one. John did the last one like he was singing the blues. He was like, ah. So he did the whole podcast and no one could understand him.
oh, really?
Yeah.
What was I doing? What do you mean
You
singing
have
the
the
blues?
mic down here.
Oh, yeah, I
You're
did.
getting much better
I
at
did.
it.
Well, I've done a few since then. I've done like 12 since then.
Let's talk about how fucking fantastic his show is. Then
Oh, yeah,
Have you
let's
seen
talk
Joe
about
Schmo?
that.
No, not yet.
John, pitch it.
Now, who
Dude.
sold Joe Schmo? Who's the
Dude, what it is, it looks like a reality show. One guy comes to compete for the grand prize of $100,000 and a year's contract to be a bounty hunter. Everybody else he's competing against are actors. He doesn't have any idea, and they're just messing with him.
So it's a prank
And it's
show
like-
on
Now,
one
what's the
dude.
kid that created this?
A guy named Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick created it 10 years ago, and we did it 2 seasons back then.
Right.
Then it went away.
Now, who was the kid from the Best Damn Sports Show that works on there? Glasses, curly.
Oh,
hair?
Brian Keith Etheridge.
oh,
yeah.
BKE.
Now,
yeah.
did
BKE.
Brian created or had some?
No. He was one of the writers on the first season,
Okay.
and he was an actor on the first season.
Okay,
He's
that's-
fucking
So yeah, he's funny.
hilarious.
He's funny. Yeah, he wasn't available this year, but
He's a funny, good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a
Take
trip.
care of
so
me, yeah.
funny, and he's such a nice guy.
and he's a great drummer too. Did you know that?
He is?
Yeah,
I heard.
Yeah.
And a sensual lover.
Like he went to
Very generous.
Very
lover.
generous lover.
yeah, very generous lover. But he went to USC and got like his degree in music.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a band. Anyway, so this one guy thinks he's on a real reality show, and he's not. And it's just he's there with all the actors, and he doesn't know. Like we put this guy through the mill, and he just thinks all this craziness is going on. We had a black character named Lavernius, named after
One
your
of my
boy.
jokes. My joke named after.
Lavernius
Lavernius Coles, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to school with
Florida
Lavernius
State,
Coles at
yeah.
Florida State, and I loved his name. I thought it was the greatest. I think we had a class together, and I remember them saying Lavernius, and I thought that was a joke name. I was like, and I started laughing,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, sorry."
It's great. With this guy Lavernius, he's like a big black guy, kind of like a scary type reality show black guy they have on every one of them, and he pulls him aside like the first night and says, "Yo, we're friends. We should stick together." And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "By the way, I got to tell you something. I'm gay." And he tells him this long story about his boyfriend Ray Ray, and he's like, "Now don't tell anybody else."
Another name out of my act.
Is that Ray Ray? That's cool. I didn't know that. So, he tells me, he goes, "Now don't tell anybody. It's just between you and me. I don't want people to know. I don't know how they'll accept me." Then the next day, we've got the single mother, the widow, comes to him and is like, "Man, I'm in love with Lavernius. What can I do to get Lavernius? I think he wants me." And he's just put in the middle. He can't tell her because he can't, screw up with his friendship. And he gets into this weird love triangle. Everywhere he goes, this chick is like, "Hey, man, I really need to get with Lavernius. I think he likes
So wait,
me."
are you line editing this, or are you in a video village watching this?
You ever watch? We've got a whole.
So are you
see
losing
everything.
your fucking mind when two jokes that you've set up for a period of time collide, and she's like, and you're watching?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And like the weirdest thing for me was the table read, because when they all got together for the table read, like 6 months ago, these characters didn't exist.
Yeah.
And here, when you're a writer and that happens, it's like it's a mind blowing thing.
I love that show, like to a lot Joe Schmo, because everything is done so well, has to go so well on so many different levels for it to work.
Oh yeah.
But there's a blind chick on the show, and apparently, like,
Deaf.
That's it. Deaf. Blind would be.
Yeah, we got.
I guess she could just close her eyes and really do it.
One of our contestants, she's not deaf in real life, but she's playing a deaf girl on the show. So he's like, "I'm fighting to be a bounty hunter with a deaf girl." It's just all ridiculous.
She's fantastic.
She's great.
Yeah, but the writing, like you guys have to come up with the concept. Those people execute it, and then I feel like a huge factor is casting the right guy.
Oh yeah,
because he's so
He's
earnest
got to be dumb enough
and sincere, and you got to be like
and a good dude.
Good dude.
He's not. Yeah, you got to be a good dude, but he's not dumb. That's what everyone thinks. He just doesn't
Yeah,
know.
but I'd figure it out pretty quick.
No, you wouldn't. No,
I'd
you wouldn't.
figure it out.
There's no way, because all he's going by is the information he's given.
Is he from L.A.?
No, he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's got his master's degree.
No, I'm not. I'm going to Pittsburgh next week. I'm not saying they're dumb, but I'm saying he couldn't be from like L.A. or New York or somewhere because he'd fucking catch
I'd be a
on
little
that
more.
quick.
He'd be a little more savvy. But if you just walk in a room, somebody would just walk in this room, and I was said, I've been in prison for 3 years. The producers got a rescue dog. A rescue dog. It was an adult German Shepherd. Nobody knew anything about this dog. It was a rescue, and he would bring it into the office. Hadn't had it a week, and Sean, he was like he was a good-looking guy, wanted to be an actor. and he comes in, gets right in the dog's face and starts rubbing the face right there. And it just took a bite out of his face. There was blood all over the office. He had to get stitches, plastic surgery.
This is a disputable story in my family right now. Cotty got bit by a dog. We had a dog, Arthur, who was on heart medicine, and she was in my room, and he was sleeping, and he was a Jack Russell Terrier, and she was like in his face and like this, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night he just and bit her face, got her right in the eye and inside her mouth.
Oh, inside the mouth.
Locked on, and we had to. I had to get him off, and then my dad. I go take Cotty into my dad's and mom's room, and I'm like, Arthur bit Cotty. They gave her like 2 seconds, and then my dad disappeared with Arthur. Took him out to the porch, and he came back and he had a bite in his hand. He's like, "Don't go out there. Don't go out there." I was like, "Okay." Next morning, Arthur is in a basket, being sent to live on a farm. They put him in a basket because that was and my dad's hosing off the fucking porch. And to this day, I think my dad killed Arthur with a baseball bat.
No doubt.
To this day.
No doubt.
To this day. And my dad always goes, "No, buddy, you have a fucking active imagination. I never told you Will Smith wanted to fuck you in the ass. I didn't kill Arthur with a baseball bat." That's how my dad sees life. I'm like, bullshit, you fucking killed Arthur with a baseball bat.
I'll get it out of him next time he's here.
I know a guy.
I'll pull him aside. Say, "Hey, just between me and you, I won't tell Bert. Did you kill that dog?"
I know a guy who had a bird that he loved his bird, and his brother's dog. He was supposed to lock up. The brother's supposed to keep the dog locked up when the house is empty, so the dog doesn't fuck with any of the other.
Yeah.
His dog killed the bird.
Oh shit!
This guy loved this fucking bird. He took the dog when he got home and found his bird dead. He was so livid that he drowned the dog in the pool with his hands and left him.
That is hardcore.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck you and fuck your fucking dog," and
shut the
no
fuck
word.
up.
Yeah,
that same dog, Hagen, killed. I had an iguana in college named Wilbury, after the traveling Wilburys, and I came home one day. I had a dog, Abigail. My buddy Obi had a dog named Hagen, and I come back and Wilbury is in his cage and he's dead. With my iguana, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I just thought I didn't feed it. And Obi's there, and he's like, "What's the matter?" And I was like, "Wilbury's dead." And he was like, "Oh shit, I guess you didn't feed it in a while." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I didn't." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And I was like, "Yeah." He's, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, and so he goes, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I guess I'll just cremate it." Because I was like, I don't want to bury it, because then the dogs are going to dig it up. I was like, I'll cremate it. So
just with one match?
No. I got some paper and I wrapped it up in newspaper. No. And I got some lighter fluid and I lit it, and it fucking in the fireplace. It flamed up good. I mean, it was a blaze until the paper pulled away, and there's still an iguana that's filled with liquid, and the liquid's sizzling and squirting out of his eye, and his toes are bent back, and his tail's all curled up. His lips were like this, like. And I fucking felt so horrible. I just felt like I disfigured this animal that I loved, that I had to go take it outside and bury it out there. It was the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And then Obi says to me like 2 weeks later, he's like, "You still upset about Wilbury?" And I said, "No, I'm past it." And he goes, "Well, just so you know, Hagen killed it." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I saw him playing with him, and I walked in, and I just put him back in the cage. I figured I didn't want to tell you." Fucking So.
How'd he get out of the cage?
He was a big iguana. He could get out.
Wow.
Yeah. Is everyone watching this Beyonce? Should I turn it off?
Yes.
I guess I should do an intro in the Mancave today. Tom Segura, John Moore, executive producer of the hit show Joe Schmo. Right, John?
Yeah.
And Joey Coco Diaz.
What's happening, guys?
We have that was a late intro. Apologize. And then supposedly I don't know if I'm almost certain it's going to happen. Adam Richman from Man vs. Food should be here, so we can all interview Adam.
Conversation go down. This is what reality TV should be. Not fucking some guy hunting a bull in Spain. This is it. This black guy on the phone. He didn't even stop and go, "Let me call you back," when he asked to check for hot sauce. You know how they always stop. I'm going to take 2 bites. Something's missing this motherfucker. Hot sauce. That's right. He didn't even get off the phone. My point being, he ate chicken. Like if I don't know about you guys. I can't eat and talk. When I'm eating, I'm fucking eating. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to no.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody in the world I want to talk to when I'm eating.
Right.
This guy was eating his favorite meal and didn't even take 5 minutes off. He just talked throughout the whole thing. It was an hour for 3 pieces of chicken. So I got nowhere to go with this. I'm just
No. John watched me eat today, and I eat like a fucking wolf.
Yeah, you eat like you're in prison.
I eat like I'm in prison.
You eat like you're scared everyone around you is going to take your food. I've never seen anything like it.
I was
I
the
grew up
fastest
rough.
eater that I had ever been around.
Who?
Myself. Me. I finished, and you are at least 3 times as fast.
Really?
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
No, I mean he eats like there's a prize at the bottom of it or something. Like you are going nuts.
Yeah, I eat really
inhale it.
fast.
My
But that
wife
was
takes 2 bites of her meal, and I'm already the waitress is taking my dish.
and I'll tell you what else. I have a real fucking thing about my food being hot. Like I need my food to be hot, almost burnt.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't have like if it starts to cool down, it's ruined. In my opinion, it's meant to be served hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Leanne, it was a big hiccup in our relationship. We first got married because I'd make dinner for us, and she'd be like, especially with the girls, she'd like, I'll be out in 15 minutes. I'm just gonna put all that down. I'd be like, no. I made it now. It's on the table now. You stop what you're doing, and you come now. But when we go on the road with my crew, and when it's a crew of fucking 15 people on the road. I go, the second my food gets anyone's food, you start eating. We're not fucking family. There's no fucking, just, it's work. You eat and then fucking eat it because I'm not waiting for anyone.
I'm not waiting for anybody.
Yeah.
And I've finished food. I've finished straight up meals before anyone gets served.
You know when you go to a restaurant with somebody?
Yeah.
You know why I don't go to restaurants with people? Because they take too long to order. I'm walking in that restaurant. I
Drives
already know
me
what
nuts.
I want. As I'm walking in the fucking door,
Yeah.
so when she comes over with the waters, right there, yo, you ready to take this? No. And then you always got one fucking Momo who's doing everything but. Red Man, he's doing everything. Getting the fucking menu guy. Rogan knows what he wants. I know what I want.
Yeah.
John knows what he wants. You're the only fucking Momo. Oh, look at the fries. Look at the flowers. I don't give a fuck about the flowers. You better know when that bitch comes the first time, you better have your fucking order. My wife is the same way. She looks around. Look at the brickwork.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
What,
about
you know
the
what I don't
brickwork.
understand? One of my friends always gives 2 options to the server, and it's like, what do you think? And then basically lets the server decide.
Fuck you.
And I'm like,
was
why
that
don't-
me? Was that me that did that? Remember
No.
No, not that one. Do you remember when we were in Hawaii and I said to the lady, "What's good on the menu?" And she goes, "I don't know." And I go,
Oh, yeah.
And I go, "What do you mean you don't know?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I said, "What about these?" She goes, "I don't know." I go, "You haven't had anything on this menu?" And she
Yeah.
goes, "No, they won't let us eat off the menu." And I go, and then we took it upon ourselves to go fucking hunt down management and say they need to eat from the menu because we need
Yeah.
to know what we want to eat and their recommendation matters.
Yeah,
I
okay.
remember that. That was a fucking. Have you ever seen, Joe? Have you ever seen the video of me shaving Tom's tits? It is. I watched it just as on a lark and we were in Hawaii and I shaved Tom's back and then I realized that his armpit hair connected to his tit hair. So I was like,
Chest also works.
chest. So I was like, let me just shave some definition. I'll hollow this point out and then bring it up under. And I did one, and the second I did one, I looked at it, and it looked like his nipples were wearing a mask. They were just like, because it looked like glasses on his, and I could not stop laughing, and it looked so bad.
Adam's here.
Oh, good, that's a perfect time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll edit all this out, I'm sure. Adam, come on in.
I'll keep it real.
Oh, yeah, we'll just keep it in.
I'm gonna move back.
All right. Adam, good to see you, brother. This is my buddy Tommy Buns.
Hey, what's up, man? Oh,
Here.
you got hands full.
Leanne. Leanne leaves the dog in here.
Oh, come on.
Do you want us to keep Mona? Okay. This is Tommy
How you doing,
Buns,
man? How's it
stand-up
going?
comedian. John Moore, he's
How are you?
executive
Good to see
producer
you.
of Joe Schmo, and my buddy Joey Coco Diaz. Joey and you will be simpatico. Both guys out of New York, East Coasters. Grab a mic, sit down.
Sit
You
down
were
here.
tearing up some hot dogs last week. I was in West Palm Beach. You were tearing up some hot dogs. I'm in my room getting high going, I wish I had some fucking hot dogs.
Into the mic, Joey.
Richman
Into the
always
mic.
got hot
Do you want
dogs.
anything?
I'm good.
beer.
I'm good. Are we already recording?
Yeah. We just started. and We were like, oh, Adam.
It's bad. So you close, this kid is just screaming, throwing ties off the racks and everything. And then he just takes off running at a full clip, straight down the aisle. And at the end of the aisle was a full-length mirror. He didn't realize it was a mirror. And he runs at a full clip into this mirror, just smack, and just kind of steps back. Didn't know what happened.
Like he could not understand physics.
It makes you feel
And,
so.
oh man, I loved it. I could not have been more happy.
He shut up the whole time. So I think he had like a concussion or something. He was.
I love that
quiet
that's
the
how
whole
we're
time.
starting off the podcast, is with John's hateful story about a child.
Well, it's, some kid because you have great kids, but some people's kids really suck so bad.
Yeah.
And like it's like when you there's one thing like it's hard when you first see kids that you realize they really are ugly, and you want to tell people. Because you could say it to somebody, you can't tell the parent, like, that's an ugly kid. Or when a kid's a real asshole and you enjoy watching them get hit, like that is the best.
It's like I had my buddy, my old roommate had a dog, Hagen, I think was the dog's name, after Copenhagen.
A shitty dog?
And, yes, a chocolate lab, like half breed. It's like just ears looked weird, nose was too long, but he spent like a dickload of money for it. He was in college. And I remember watching the dog piss on his bed one time, and I should have stopped the dog, but I fucking enjoyed it so much that I almost was like, how can I get the dog to piss on his bed every fucking time?
That's the the thing about people with shitty dogs, people who have like a really shitty dog will act like they know how to train dogs. Like they'll tell you, like, you know what you got to do, and you're like, dude, your dog sucks. Your dog has no obedience. You haven't trained it at all. But they'll be like, this is when you need to pet him, and you should reinforce. But like, do you do any of it?
Nope.
Do you do anything at all to your dog? Your dog's a fucking. It's like an untamed beast, and you're.
Wait, are we talking about my dog?
No, your dog. That dog's
Joey came in today, and Priscilla gave him like the sniff, and then she was looking at him, and Joey's like, "This is what she's supposed to do. This is what a dog does."
What a dog does. People get mad at that. Once I go in your house, it becomes that dog's property.
Yeah.
And you have to act like, and if not, you're gonna get fucking bit.
Yeah.
And that goes for kids too. You're gonna get fucking bit, and that's it. People don't know the mechanics of a dog. You know why I know the mechanics of a dog? I used to be a burglar. You know exactly why the fucking dog is there. Plus, before I became a burglar, when I was a kid and I first came from Cuba, I kept getting attacked by dogs. I lived in the Bronx. My mother had a dry cleaner in the Bronx. I got bit in the face. I got bit in Harlem in the leg. I got bit in Jersey. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. So I just broke down around dogs. Like the fear I had. One dog walked past me one time with his owner, walked like 10, and then turned around and bit me. That's when you know you're a retard as a kid. When the dog turns around and comes back and bites you. Like, you're such a loser kid. And I was about 8 or 9. But it's, once you
walk past the dog's like, "Oh, fuck it."
he came back and bit me. Fucking 2 German Shepherds. And it's amazing how when you see, like, I respect dogs. I respect animals, That's my biggest fear. I was walking to Yum Yum Donuts one night, and some guy had his pit bull off the fucking chain on Colfax. That dog came right up to me. He could have just tore my fucking leg off. But it was the respect that I gave him that saved my fucking leg. Joe Rogan, Frank, almost tore me up one time. Yeah. But I learned how to just maintain. And it's the inner thing. It's like when you pick up a cat. If you pick up a fucking cat hard, that cat's going to be hard. But I pick my fucking cats up like nothing. And they feel the love in your hand.
I never realized how bad I would do against like a bear or a lion until one time I had to get our cat into a flying crate. Like put him in one of those crates, take him to the vet. And our cat Gus just decided to fuck me up. And all of a sudden I have a cat that is grabbed onto me and just going, yes. And I'm like, I fucking was like, I don't know what to, and it hurt so fucking bad that I thought if that was a lion, I'd be fucking dead.
Oh yeah.
There's not only like it's the fucking that cat-like instinct. So
do you remember that guy at the X show?
That got bit by a dog.
Yeah.
What was he?
Sean? I think his name was Sean Finkel.
That's exactly what his
name was. Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
There's no reason for him not to believe that because he doesn't have,
Greatest line Joey Diaz ever delivered in person to me. We were talking about black people, and he goes, "Dog, if you think brothers are allowed in the movies, go to prison." I fucking laughed. It was me, you, and Felicia Michaels, and I could not stop laughing. Felicia didn't really hear it. Like, she didn't catch it. Yeah. And I could not. And then Joey just continues telling a story. I go, no, go back to that. The greatest fucking line.
No idea. You go
Wait, into the mic, Joey.
It's amazing. When you go to jail, they talk all night, black people. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, you get sentenced, and they take you to county jail. And then after you're in county jail, after a week, they go, listen, we're going to send you to where you're going to go, but first you have to go to diagnostic, to like a prison where they test your head and they draw blood and all that shit. And you're there for 2 weeks. Then they decide where they're going to send you according to your points and what crime you did and previous, and if you have a high school diploma. There's all these variables. And once they send me to diagnostic, that's what it's called, nobody sleeps there. I went to diagnostic in August, which is fucking Humanville in Colorado. And I was on the 3rd floor. And there had to be, it was like 6 floors of just cells, like you see in a movie, just all the way high up. And I remember when lights went out, they talked all night. I mean, and listen, look, if
you realize how much I love that?
If you're like in the cell next to me and I'm like, yo, Bert, yo, what's up, Joey? What's going on over there? Nothing. Reading a book. What are you reading about? Oh, I'm reading about physics. Yeah, tell me about it. Well,
this is clearly a made-up one. Or what are you doing over there? Reading a book about physics?
Right.
You're reading something about Stephen King. I'm reading on writing.
Yeah.
You're reading and we're having a conversation about it. You know what? Whoever this appeals to, at least it's an interesting conversation. You know how he came up with carrot.
Yeah.
How he was a
I feel like I know where this is going.
No.
I don't. And I'm excited.
But with the brothers, okay, so you and I are talking next to each other in the cell.
Yeah.
Like, so, John, did you read the part about Carrie, how he wrote Carrie? Whatever. It's not it's not going to save the world, but at least we're talking about something. The black guys, but they talk like from the 2nd floor to the 4th. And it's like, yo, Mo B. Yo, Mo B. And it's got to travel. So Moby's in his room, right? Moby's in his room, whatever. Picking his fucking afro or greasing his ears or putting Vaseline on their calves, whatever the fuck they do. And all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, Moby, that must be me. So now he has to get up and go to the thing and go, yo, Moby here. So now the guy downstairs forgot he already yelled up to Moby. He's going to say, Moby, oh, yo, Moby, what's going on up there? And then Moby has to yell back, nothing, dog, just doing time like a motherfucker. All right. And this goes on for hours. Like, yo, so you got visiting on Sunday? Nah, I got my baby's mama, number 1. The fat hoe's coming because the white one don't like black, and it goes on forever. And you're sitting there in bed going, you just want to get up and go, oh, does this matter? Are we saving fucking lives? And let's say you fall to sleep at 2. Let's say you fall asleep at 1. When you get up at 4, they're still having the same conversation. Moby and Ray are still fucking, yo. So tell us what happened in high school. And they just talk. And it's all fucking night, guys.
Oh, my God.
And they don't sleep in the daytime. Black people rest to talk. I went to Popeye's about 2 years ago. I went to Popeye's Chicken on Laurel Canyon. And this ain't a racist statement. This is a true statement. I went in there with my wife. Right here, Laurel Canyon.
I know that Popeye's.
Tremendous Laurel Canyon. But what a lot of people don't know is Tuesdays is $1.99. You get a wing and a breast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
I do
means
that.
black people go fucking bananas on Tuesday. Like on Wednesday, if you're white and you get up in the Mickey Mouse Club, it was anything could happen day. For black people, it's what's today? Tuesday. Oh shit, it's going down at Popeyes, right?
We went to Popeyes. That Popeyes
On a Tuesday. You
on
ever
a
go
Tuesday.
on a
It was the day before my fast.
Packed. But here's the beauty of it. There was a guy in Popeyes eating chicken on the phone the whole time while he was eating chicken. After a while, if I'm black and I'm sitting there, I'm going, what are you doing? You eating chicken? Why are you talking to me about eating chicken? I'm over here eating fucking diet root beer. Call me back when you with the chicken. He talked throughout the whole conversation while he was eating the 3 pieces of chicken. Me and my wife stayed there. I'm like, my wife's like, we got to go. No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this whole